sometimes like all you want to do is run. But hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Rose, there I am. Hold on. Oh, well, what's a blooper or two? Anyways, hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the live. I decided I was going to do one today. Talking again with Belinda. And anyways, I want to say, what is it? Happy Tuesday? Happy Tuesday? Happy Tuesday. Yeah, I guess it's Tuesday. Anyways, first off, I want to say, of course, well, some sidekicks there. There's Charmaine. She's in the house. She won't be joining us tonight. American Justice, which is Melissa. She's in the house, which is another friend, guest that always, especially with the Sebastian Rogers case and Delphi. And so I just want to give them a big shout out, as well as all the mods, of course. But I also want to give a big shout out to you guys, you, the audience, the viewers. Me, Charmaine, are out of British Columbia, Canada. I'm in Vancouver. She's in the Shuswap area, as well as in Alberta. And Melissa is out of the United States, out of Indiana over there. So I'm going to turn off this fan here. That's my cat, Bambi, behind. You can see her. It's like a dead piece of rug right there. But anyways, but I want to give you guys a shout out because, you know, thank you guys for all the people that are new to the channel, that are just like coming to the channel, especially because of the case. That's what matters the most, and that will always matter to most of this channel. So I do want to start off by saying that this channel is no muss, no fuss, okay, when it comes to the true crime and when it comes to the awareness of the missing and the murdered. I always believe in that we need to put out the facts of the case. The facts are the most important thing. Sorry if you hear yelling. That's my brother-in-law with high lungs. His British tone is pretty loud sometimes. Okay, I obviously don't realize I'm on a live. But anyways, with that being said, again, you know, this channel is very sincere in its intentions and will always be that way. It's the way I work. When it comes to cases, they are special to us, meaning when I say us, I'm talking about to Melissa and to Charmaine and to the friends that I have beyond this channel that come into the channel that I've known throughout the length of this channel, or some less, but still, it's like a family here. Okay, and that's the way we will always keep it. Be respectful, be kind, and you can have your opinion, but just don't be trashing other people, because you'll find your way right to the door as fast as you came in. If that happens, we're not here to tear people down. We're here to try to help bring awareness. And so with that being said, again, thank you guys for hitting that like, hitting that share, if you don't mind. And as you can see in front there, I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to start off this by saying, I'm not going to lie. I felt very let down by Deception Detective as much, and I really do enjoy his content. Don't get me wrong on this, okay? But I always believe in the fact that you should do your due diligence. And typically he brings up and he talks about cases and gives his opinion and stuff like that. But, you know, Daphne Anne Sullivan is the great aunt to these grandbabies. This post, I remember. So I knew of her name way prior to a lot of people, because why? I just like to snoop around people's Facebook, see who the family members are in conjunction with the case. I don't sit there and typically message them. And if I do message somebody, it's only with the intent if they want to talk to me, which is rare that I do that. I don't usually like to bug people, but hey, sometimes you just reach out, maybe feel like, that person might to have something to say or something like that. But it's rare that I typically do that because I really don't like to bug family members, although they are the voices for the family, the missing, and all that stuff. So I was very delighted, and to Belinda for reaching back out and adding me and talking about the situation of this case for the knowledge that she knows. Does it mean that everything she's told is 100% accurate? No, because it's just really information that's coming to her through Daniel, through Malaya, and whoever else, maybe Janie, whoever else, okay? But I wanted to say that I was very disappointed, because what happens is that he has a lot of, like, 164K subscribers or something like that. And I noticed that particular video, that when he was pulling up Daphne's thing and he was calling bullshit. So this channel put out that information. Simple as that. So Deception Detective, you're watching that. Okay, all those 5 things I posted to the thing. I did a live that day, and we're the ones that put that out with Charmaine, and we did that live. Okay, so there's 5 posts that Charmaine sent me. Oh, and those posts are from a Facebook group that reposted them from the CBA News. I don't have to send anyone a link at all. I did my due diligence. I already know that Daphne Anne Sullivan is the relation, and she's a great aunt to these beautiful children that are missing. Okay, so the fact that video is out there calling it basically bullshit, and he pulls it from Michelle After Dark, and this is no slight on Michelle After Dark, because she pulled it from somewhere as well, right? Because again, I posted it, and if people didn't post all the 5 and only showed a portion and cut off and cropped like that, that's on them. But he saw that. He didn't know who the person that was that put out. So he didn't do his due diligence to know that there was more of these posts out there. So he basically portrayed it as this was a crock of shit. Hey, Michelle, if you have the link to where it's from, send it to me type of thing. Well, again, I had tagged him in that thing, but he didn't do his due diligence. So what does that leave? Then it starts believing that Daphne that this is a hoax, that somebody's pretending to be her, portraying to be her, and not to buy into it, basically. And this is why that rumors and whatever. So shut the front door on that, I want to say. Okay, because stuff like that does irritate me, because I would expect that he would have done his due diligence before making that video. But at the end of the day, I do love watching him. I think he's a great guy. And I think that for me, because we're covering this case, right? And I just want only the facts out there, and we can speculate to the side, but I want the facts out there. And so you guys, I want you guys to know, Daphne Anne Sullivan, May 4th. These are my brother's grandkids. If you have any information on the whereabouts, please contact the authorities. Okay, so I wanted to show that to start off. And then I'm going to get back into this more. Okay, I'll show you guys all the posts that were sent to me. There was 5 of them. 2 of them were similar, so I didn't bother to show the one. I just showed the 4. But I want you guys to know that are watching that this is factually Daphne Anne Sullivan's post, and those 5 posts, well, I'll say 4 because 2 of them are the same, is factual from out of her mouth. And she's the one that's saying, I'm tired of being quiet, basically, and here's how I'm feeling. I respect Daphne absolutely as a family member for speaking up and saying that. Why? Because if it was your children, would you not be frustrated? It's the 27th. The 2 children disappear on May 2nd. This always happens. People get tired of waiting. In a sense, they think that answers should come right away, and sometimes they just simply don't, whether they're behind the scenes working on the case. You guys know the drill, okay? So bottom line is respect to Daphne and Sullivan for speaking up. I wanted you guys to know that this is not rumors. This is not some false person putting a face to it that's claiming to be Daphne. This is her post here. And Belinda confirmed, of course, because Belinda, that's her sister-in-law. Okay. But I was disappointed because when I did the live with the 5 posts, okay, I had over 1,000 people watching. And that was basically on Daphne's venting about how she felt, which a lot of people agree with. Absolutely. But here we had Belinda yesterday, who literally had a lot of factual, or whether it was like deemed factual because it was told to her by Daniel or whatever, bottom line is that's a family member. And yet she had so much more information in what we put out yesterday that was actually to do with the case per se, in the sense of, all these questions and answers. And yet I felt like somewhat, maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like it was a little bit deterred because of basically saying that Daphne Anne Sullivan is like a rumor and stuff like that, and he's not going to buy into it. Hey, Michelle, send me a link. Yeah, all you have to do, I don't even have to send a link because I could care less about that. All I want is the truth to come out to you guys. And why do I owe somebody a link? I literally already know the proof. Belinda has confirmed that, and there's no need of it. Show you the posts. Simple as that. That's part of the family and Belinda's discussions. And we're going to get into that today. A few things that Belinda has told me today about Malaya. Sorry, I tongue twist on her name sometimes. Malaya, lawyering up. Some of the things that Daniel had told her. And that's what we're going to go into. And again, it's about facts, guys. Anyone that really wants to deep dive into this case and know some details, again, just pay attention. That's all I ask. Okay? Okay? Deal. Okay. So before we get started, we're going to bring up Dylan Eller. Dylan Eller, 2023-year-old, disappeared from the Truro area there. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's Colchester area in Nova Scotia. But so anyway, so he disappeared. The parents are trying to figure out what really happened to Dylan. There is a search on the 30th, and today's the 27th, and June 1st. Again, the parents just want to know the truth. Was there mysterious, nefarious intentions, or did he actually end up in that water? They don't believe the grandmother, which is the daughter's mother, and basically they think that she's lying. And I think because they feel like there's no way in that short period of time that you were tying up a dog, all of a sudden this child just vanishes, right? But I feel like the grandmother's remorse there. But does that mean that she's not embellishing the truth because she doesn't really want to truly admit to the world that it was actually longer, perhaps, possibly. Either way, that case to bring to the attention. Again, Deception Detectives has been covering this case as well, been following it each time, doing a good job. But at the end of the day, we still have to use our own judgment on what we feel about a case, regardless, right? We all have our own opinions and thoughts. But it's always good to hear people that have, experience and, body language experts and, whatever. He's a lawyer, body linguist, whatever person. I always forget what he says he is on that. But anyway, someone that basically, reads what people are saying in a sense and dives into his deception deck and stuff like that. Second case, you guys, Sebastian Rogers. Okay, Sebastian Rogers out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. Again, another case close to the heart. 15 years old, autistic when he disappeared, highly autistic, and he's 16 years old now. A case that his father, a lot of people that know Sebastian Rogers' case know that Seth Rogers, put out his full interview there that he did with the news, and he's like what most people happen, like what happened with Daphne there. You get angry and you start getting frustrated as time goes on, and he has already been. It's kind of like you start off this way, then you go and start getting angry because all these things are happening. You got people that use you on YouTube land that just want to, basically use you to have them on their channel for clicks and views, and then basically stab you in your back and stuff like that. And then he went through all of that. You got people accusing Seth Rogers. Okay, it's honestly with Seth Rogers, it's a joke if anyone's accusing Seth Rogers. The man is so sincere, it's ridiculous. He's spent the last 15 months fighting for justice for Sebastian Rogers, wanting to know what happened to him. He's the only one. Now, go to the bio mom and the stepdad, you're not seeing the same thing. Totally opposite, as a matter of fact. Is he frustrated? Why? He's out there with searching, boots on the ground. He's doing all this. What's Katie and Christopher doing? I don't know. You'd have to get off your couch and do something probably instead of going to garage sales and stuff like that. But I'm just saying that's just being hypothetical there. There's no charges been laid against anyone in Sebastian's case, but when you smell shit, sees shit, quick quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it ain't no swan, okay? So whenever something is a red flag, and it's a huge red flag of lies, deception, and you're not even bothering to really look for your child, and yet the real father, biological father, is, and he lives an hour away, and he spends every day fighting to find out what happened to his son. He has his Christmas gift still on his bed, and I'm not sure, Seth, if your Christmas tree is still up there. It's just a sad, heartbreaking case. So again, we as kind humans and that are in the true crime space, what can we do? We can simply hit that like and the share and bring the cases always, because sometimes people are like, well, I live across the pond, so it doesn't matter. You probably have a lot of people that live in the States that are on your friends list, or in Canada, or across the world, so it doesn't matter, right? The more awareness you can bring is the more awareness that matters, especially for the families. Okay, this isn't about me. This is about the families and the children that are missing. The victims will always come first. And I'm sorry, you guys. Again, I want to welcome everyone in here. Is Ben in the house? Hey, Ben. Love seeing Ben. He's just an amazing mod. Sharon's always in here. Thank you. So Ben's my online crush, even though I have a husband. Husband. But anyways, Ben's just a great all-around person mod there. And so he lives in Australia. He went for a visit and decided to stay over there. But anyways, and if Sharon Parker, if she's in the house too. Charmaine, you don't count. Okay. You're just like a BFF always. Anyways, you guys. So welcome to the live. Hi, who dis? How are you? Kent's in the house. I also want to give a shout out to Valerie. I know you've been sending me a bunch of stuff. I got home from work, got a grocery order delivered, and then I was like talking to Belinda, and then I was like, do I do a live? Do I not? And I was like, yeah, I am. Belinda, like I said, she's been so gracious in her time, and she just simply, these are her grandbabies, okay? These are her biological grandbabies. And you guys can go back to yesterday's live and watch about, the last time that she saw her grandbabies and stuff like that. And, but these are her grandbabies. She's fighting for her grandbabies and what happened to these children. Does she know what happened to it? Does she have her thoughts? Absolutely. But just like all of us, right? We're just wondering what happened to these children. But the thing is, Belinda has a lot more insight. Why? Because she has spoken with Malaya. She has spoken with Daniel. So she can tell us those intricate details that matter, right? So when she said that Malaya, for instance, had lawyered up, okay, I'm like, wise move. First of all, if you know you're guilty of something, or if this has anything to do with the CPS, it's a wise move. You should always lawyer up, right? Because so many times people don't, and then everything they can say and will be used against them in a court of law type of thing. So why did she lawyer up? Was it to do with the CPS, and the baby meadow? And so Daniel, okay, so I have receipts from Belinda. So Daniel had told Belinda that Malaya had lawyered up, okay? So again, is that important information? Absolutely. Is there more important information to come for you guys? Absolutely. Again, it's information passed on. So whether Daniel's liar, and comes out that he had anything to do with the disappearance of these children, those are still his words. So if those words were passed on through text or through talking and stuff like that, right? Well, then your ass will be grass, pretty much. Anyways, so we're going to get on with it, guys. Sorry if I'm not going to be able to keep up with chat too much. It's just me. It's not me and Charmaine tonight. Trader, by the way. No, just kidding. Hi, Kaika. How are you? Who dis? You should lawyer up even if you're innocent. That's correct. Hi to everyone. Susan, Calm Kitty, who dis? Anyone else I missed? Okay. Yeah. So sorry, guys. I'm just going to say hello to you all. And little mama. Okay, fine. Hi, David and Catherine. And again, thank you to Lily yesterday for sending off that news article. Thank you to Charmaine for what she sends to me. Thank you to Kent, what he sends to me. And thank you to Valerie, what she says to me or what she's putting into the videos when she's leaving comments and stuff like that. She's out of Nova Scotia area too. So I just want to say I do appreciate that. Hi, True Crime Housewife. Okay, so I think we're going to get, okay, I'm going to go back to this, okay? Just to clear this part of it up. So this, of course, is Daphne Anne Sullivan. She's not some far distant relative. She's the great aunt, okay? And again, it's Belinda's sister-in-law. So just to, let's see here, present share screen. I'll go to my Canva. Okay, guys? So just to show you, this is the 5 postings, okay? So these are the full postings. And this one wasn't cut off, just so you know, I think Deception Detective thought it was cut off or whatever. But anyways, unless it is. Actually, I think that one might be, now that I look at it. Maybe not. I don't know. Can't remember. I'd have to open it up again. I feel like it was a little bit longer, but I could be wrong. Anyways, so this is the one that I didn't show because it was the same one as this. So as you can see, let me just make this a little bit bigger for you. Okay, let me get this one out of the way. Anyone wants a screenshot, they can just go back in his screenshot. So Charmaine sent this to me. Missing Lily and Jack Sullivan discussion. Found this on another group. Apparently it's the biological dad's aunt. Now, as you can see, replies to Daphne's comment on CBA news post. Right? Anyone want to go dig for it? Go dig for it. I'm not your slave on that. So if he wants a link, go find the link on the CBA post or whatever. I already know Daphne's the great aunt. I don't need to verify anything anymore. It's already been verified. So that part to me is said and done. Okay. But anyone that actually wants to look at them all, again, I think I said to email me, but I haven't had time to look at my emails at all. So if there is anybody, just email me. I'll send them to you. I don't care. And put that back there. Okay, so that one and that was the 5 of them that Charmaine had sent me. Was there any more after that? Possibly. I don't know. To me, I think it's pretty loud and clear what Daphne's frustrations are. You know, a few F-bombs towards the end, that's all right. You know, it's because she doesn't feel like anything's going on. And she obviously thinks that Daniel and Malaya had something to do with it. And that's her right to think that. Yeah? Okay, perfect. So now that we cleared that up, now I do want to go quickly pull up the post here. Let me see. And let me stop screen. I mean, I'm too lazy to freaking save them. So I'm just going to show the screen. Facebook. Okay, so no new searches planned in Pictou County missing children's case. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but to me, the minute I seen that, I just don't feel like they think that there was an abduction, and I don't feel like they feel like the kids are in the wood. So where does that leave you? That's my thoughts. That's how I read into it. Your guys' thoughts, whatever they are, you can feel free to share. Again, anyone coming into the channel, I'm from Vancouver, Canada area. Charmaine, when she's on, she's from the Shuswap area of Canada. Belinda, of course, is the bio grandmother. I hate using that word, but just to differentiate the different grandmothers. But she is the natural grandmother of Lily and Jack. And just by the way, about a year and a half to 2 years ago was the last time that she had seen the grandbabies because of this pulling away of Malaya. We're going to get into that because Belinda gave me some insight, which somebody else has said this to me, like meaning in the chat before. So I'm going to see if it resonates with you when I actually do come to that conversation with Belinda. But like I said to Belinda, like she doesn't realize how valuable to me, especially myself, that this insight is. Because if you know that someone is struggling with mental health issues, if you know that somebody is lawyered up, if you know that there's certain things going on, it gives you way more of an insight of the potential of what possibly could have happened to these children. Like, instead of just thinking about the information that's out there, all these little things give you more insight. And the more insight you have to the right people, okay, not the morons of the world, but to the right people, means a lot, because then it gives you more perhaps angles to think about, and every little tidbit counts. So again, appreciate the like and the share. Let's put out the facts and let's put out the truth. And even if it's not truthful about what's being said, as she's been told it still matters, right? It's still coming out of the family's mouth, type of thing. So thank you, Belinda, again. I truly appreciate this. I hope you know that from the bottom of my heart. Sunny Days. Sorry, Belinda, one sec. Sunny Days is in the house. Hi, Sunny. My name's Sunny. Nice to meet you. I'm Sunny Delight, by the way, or Sunny Justice, one of the two. Anyways, nice to see you. Thanks for subscribing. Anyways, but back to Belinda for a second. So please, if you could in the chat, please give her a ton of hearts, because this is very special when a family member who is grieving and wondering what happened to these children. Regardless, there's grieving going on, because anyone that usually follows these cases, the outcomes of these type of situations are highly unlikely that these children are still alive. But we're going to pray and hope for a miracle regardless. So please do give her some hearts. Thank her very much for giving us some more insight into the case of Jack and Lily. And so bless you, Belinda. Okay. And Charmaine, I'm saying it for Charmaine as well. She matters too sometimes. But okay. So just quickly, I'm still using Charmaine's Facebook here. If I go the wrong way, Charmaine, I'm sorry. Yep, I'm going the wrong way. That was the possible human brain sounds. Okay, so it says investigators are still looking into the disappearance of the two Pictou children who disappeared last month, but don't have immediate plans to put more people in the woods for clues as to what happened to Lily and Jack. On May 17th and 18th, the ground search and rescue members were back in the areas around Gairloch Road, home where the 6 and 4-year-old were reported missing on May 2nd. The original search, which involved the ground crew helicopters, drones, dogs, was scaled back May 7th. The disappearance is now being investigated as a missing persons case. The work to find Lily and Jack remains very active, of course, with a full complement of resources. I don't know that word, actually. It's like complement, but it's not complement. Tools and many investigators engaged to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. RCMP spokeswoman Carly McCann said Tuesday there are no planned air or ground searches at this time. Any future searches will be determined based on the investigation. She wouldn't comment on whether the force has used a polygraph test as part of their interviews in the investigation, and any of the investigative techniques that are being used aren't going to be part of any information that we release to the public at all. So again, I just want to reiterate, if you're from Canada, you know that we are way more tight-lipped than the United States, okay? UK is very similar to Canada in a lot of ways. If you hear anything more really from the RCMP in that crimes unit, the major crimes unit, it's going to be something to do probably like there's an arrest been made, and more of an update on that. There might be like another minor update, or maybe if they do decide that they're going to do a search, if they do, that will come out. But other than that, usually it's kind of like, low. And then you just kind of all of a sudden we'll see this, the news come out and be like, boom, something happened type of thing. We just blab it all out here. Hi, Summer Rain. How are you? Oh, Magic Valley, it's called. What's Magic Valley, by the way? Okay. Thank you, Belinda. I hope you can feel the love and support from this channel. You're very appreciated. Yep. And truly, and it is, right? I'm grateful. Like, honestly, I'm grateful. I don't usually bug people, like I said. I reached out to Belinda. I had added her. I had paid attention to her Facebook just to see if, any little posts about Jack and Lily, and same with Daphne's as well. just to see if there was anything out there. She said she had watched the channel a few times, and this is very much, you know, very kind of her to say this, but she said she had felt like, I was the right person to, I guess, talk to in the sense, or, to talk to. And you know what? Sorry, but she's right. I am. I'm very honest, very sincere, very respectful. I don't throw people underneath the bus. I don't use people for my own intentions at all. This is simply about caring about a case, and that somebody trusted me, that they decided that they would add me and talk to me. So with that, I say thank you. Thank you for realizing the person that you felt that you could come to and say that to. Not that there aren't others out there, but you guys, sorry, there's one thing I know about myself. I'm one of the biggest empath and deepest caring people out there. I'm probably to the ridiculous side, to be honest with you on that one. But so I just appreciate the fact that she saw that in me, and to bring awareness to this case, it means a lot. So thank you, Belinda. Okay, so Amy, hi, how are you? Jack and Lily. Of course, there's our Ben on there. Hi, Mid de Fleur. Rena, how are you? Green Girl. Just giving some shout outs here. Sorry, guys, again. Roger Matthews. I just find it funny that the Police of Canada really did a horrible job with this case. Those poor children deserve so much more. I just find it funny that the Premier, Police of Canada, I don't know. I don't know honestly why you're saying that. If that's the way you feel, that's perfectly fine. I don't know why you're saying that though yet. I don't know that they've proven that. Is that just based on the fact that they collected some footage a little bit later than they should have? But I don't know really why you're saying that, to be honest with you. I don't think we have anything to really show that they're doing a shit job. Because again, just because they don't open up and talk about things doesn't mean that they're not doing a really good job out there. They might not always do the best job, especially when it comes to the Indigenous community and stuff like that. But I think they've been starting to pull up their pants and stuff with that stuff. I don't think you can judge them on the process of how they work the case. Well, that's just it, right? You're going to have pie in your face there, Roger, if they come back soon with something in there. Because I'm honestly, my gut feeling is I'm fine with how things are going in a sense. Like, I don't feel this, oh my God, this case is going to drag on type of feeling. I feel like answers are going to come to us. Okay, so Godspeed. Godspeed. Chef's kiss. Thank you. Oh, is this some, hold on. Lady, stop spreading lies. Oh, so this is what you call a troll. So this is what you call one of those people that come in here that purposely try to say stuff like that, and they just waste everybody's time. They have no life whatsoever. They put somebody else's face on their avatar, or they just mentally have issues going on. One of the two, right, Valerie? Why can't you be that? Okay, so let's just go ahead, get rid of Valerie. Waste of our time, guys. We hate losers like that. Yeah. Valerie, oh yeah. So these people exist, okay? And it's only because I know, and you guys know, the people that are in true crime, you guys know that people will be really horrendous, mean, cruel. They'll come in, like me and Deb, the guy kept coming into our live telling us he was going to slice our throat. I kept sitting there going, here, come do it, right here waiting for you. Because no one's ever going to intimidate me. But it's a fact that actually YouTube, so I put up, because the idiot was stupid enough to show himself on the camera. And so I put it up, his face right across freaking YouTube. And you know what? He puts in a claim of personal. And I'm like, YouTube, you're kidding me, right? Like, you're kidding me. So this guy can come in saying he's going to slice our throat. That's okay, YouTube. And you asked me to take that video down because of personal information. What? Showing a crazy lunatic's face out there, embarrassing him perhaps. So sometimes it's just nuts. So when it comes to YouTube, you have to have a thick skin. Family members, stay strong. Ignore those people out there. There's a ton of people that care about you guys, ton of people that are on your side. Ignore the ones that try to troll you, try to hurt you, try to say mean and cruel things. They don't matter at all. Okay. They matter to themselves, maybe to their mom. But that's about it, okay? They do not matter to us. We focus on about caring about people, and we just want kind, nice people that are here to care about the community, care about true crime, care about cases, and just be good. 11:11. Okay, so let me start pulling up. Hi, Karen. Just watch Audrey and Daisy on Netflix. It's a must watch for parents and teens. Our children are so vulnerable. We owe it to them. Absolutely. Absolutely. From Canada. I don't understand Canadian law from Canada. I'm US. Couldn't the mother have left her baby with her mother and possibly stayed with somebody else so she could be close to the investigation? Well, it depends, honestly. I don't want to overspeak what we don't know on that one, right? We know that basically that Malaya has had to leave because CPS would take Baby Meadow if she didn't. Belinda said she didn't want to, but that was her choice. And then, right? So whatever, she's lawyered up. But I don't want to overspeak for something I don't know. You make them irrelevant, right? Okay. So just trying to think, because I feel like, you know what? I'm going to 1 second here. I want to do. Only because I need a couple minutes, just for a moment. I'm just going to simply play Malaya's interview that will run into Daniel's for a few moments. Okay. I mean, I'm telling you, I can watch her interview over and over again. And every time I watch it, something else makes me mad about it, to be honest with you. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly get that. Only just because I need to do a couple things, and you guys can do your opinions in the chat as long as it's opinions and your opinions only.
Just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" And he says, "No." And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone. immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there. I'm out here still searching, still fighting to try to find them. That's all I can do.
The message is still, if anyone knows anything.
If anybody knows anything, just come forward as soon as possible. 2 little kids are still out there. I want to find them. That's really all I can do. Still searching every day. I'm waiting for information. I have to let them do a lot of their stuff with the aircrafts and everything else, and dogs and searchers. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be coordinated, and I can't just go running through the woods. I want to, but I just can't right now because the search is just so far out. We were searching. We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
4 days into the search for his missing stepkids, Lily and Jack Sullivan, Daniel Martell is pleading with the public to keep their eyes peeled. But he has begun to lose hope they are anywhere in the vicinity.
I hate being wet and cold, so they immediately would have came right back into the house. The only 2 prints are right beside the house facing the road, and then that's it.
Martell wants the search to be extended to include provincial borders in case the children were abducted, a reality he says is becoming more and more likely.
Post any officers they can get at the New Brunswick border, PI border, and get them at every airport possible.
Martell confirmed that when the 2 children went missing from the home behind me, Lily was wearing a pink shirt and pink rain boots. She was also carrying a white backpack with strawberries on it. Martell says although he didn't see Jack that morning, he is believed to be wearing a brown shirt, brown pants with a pull-up diaper on underneath, and blue rain boots with dinosaurs on them. He also refuted the claim that the 2 children are nonverbal, saying while they are on the autism spectrum, they are quite trusting and say hi to everyone. According to Martell, his side of the family are currently the only ones at ground zero after Lily and Jack's mother left the county Saturday. But still, he remains, begging anyone with answers to come forward and bring his children home safe.
Anybody who has any information, or you think you've seen something or hear something, or any messages from friends about hearing something, just contact your local police services. Anything, guys. Anything.
Ella MacDonald, Global News, Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia.
You said they're flying in someone to do a polygraph test. Is that on you?
That's not just on me, but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think their side of the family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations. And
Okay, so I'm actually glad that I let you guys listen to all that again, because that's really going to play into, first of all, the live yesterday that we did. If you want to know things about what was said in this video from yesterday, about how Daniel knew about the clothes and stuff like that, please go watch yesterday's live. You can even just skip forward to the part where you see me putting up Belinda's comments that she shared. Today, I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to show you the comments, but I'm going to show you what I had also asked. I just felt it was better just for visual sakes to see what I had asked Belinda. And again, I just want to state, I'm very grateful for just even the slightest bit of insight to these tidbits. Why? Again, this is the grandbabies of the biological grandmother whose name is Belinda, and she wants to know what happened to Jack and Lily. These are her grandbabies. Her son is the father. And let's repeat that from yesterday. The Cody Lily Sullivan that is being posted that has an arrest record is not her son. So I'm going to make that very clear. So please, you guys, whenever you see someone say that in a live or something like that, please correct it. It's not like she's sitting here trying to deceive me. Like, this was information that, at the end of the day, we're not going to be talking about her son unless, of course, there's any point that she really wants to. But all I want you guys to know is from Belinda, I said I would clear it up, that is not the Cody Lee Sullivan. That's not even Cody Lee Sullivan is his name. Okay. So that is wrong. But I'm not going to tell you his name. I'm simply going to tell you that that information is false and incorrect. And so that I wanted to put out there because, of course, right? When people get information wrong, which does happen many times in cases, please correct it. And, again, I kind of had thought because the channel that I got it from, and I'm not going to bother to say it right now, but usually that channel does due diligence on stuff, but the channel, whoever he got it from, got it wrong. Simple as that. And so I'm just sitting here. If ever I put out information that's inaccurate and I can be told differently, in which this case I am, then I'm going to let you guys know. Why? Because I don't want you guys going on a goose egg trail of fabrication. I want you guys to have the truth and the facts as best as we can give them. And again, this information is coming from the bio grandma of Jack and Lily. Okay. She's invested in what if Daniel or Malaya had something to do with this. She's invested if there was an abduction, if they are in the woods still. So again, hearts and prayers go out to all the family members that had absolutely nothing to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily, if any of them had anything to do with it, because we just don't know those answers. Okay. She's right. You know what? Yes, exactly. So Daphne, of course, spoke out and gave her thoughts, right? This we're talking about is information. Okay. So Daphne expressed how frustrated she was. Great. I'm glad to see it. Why? It keeps the case and momentum going, and it keeps it out there. Everyone usually always wants to hear from the family. So go back and watch the live if you didn't watch it yesterday to see all the things that were said, because today we're going to be showing different things that were said. So I recommend it. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But again, I would suggest please do. That way you yourself have that information, which can help you maybe give better insight to what you're feeling about the case. So let's see here. So I'm going to start off by, hi, Valerie. Valerie, I said already, thank you very much for all the posting you're doing. I haven't checked my emails or anything like that yet. I came home, got off work, got a grocery order, was speaking to Belinda, decided I was going to do a live. And again, very blessed. But thank you again for all these people that really care about this case and really are looking for answers, helping, sending information, sending me videos if I haven't seen them throughout the day while I'm at work and stuff like that. So thank you guys and bless. I don't want speculation being sent to me. I don't want anything that doesn't have receipts to back it up. I just simply want, if there's a video out there from the news, if there's something that a family member like Belinda or Daphne is talking about, or another family member, I just want things from the horse's mouth, regardless, or Ellie and stuff like that. Okay. When it comes to that, that Daniel passed a polygraph test or failed it, okay, it's not out there. That's nothing but rumors. I asked Belinda if she knew, and I'll get to that. But as far as she knew, she knows just as much as us when it comes to that he asked for one, whether he took one or not. We don't know the answer to that. So unless it's another close family member that knows the answer to that, that's the only person that would be able to put it out there. Police aren't going to tell you that. So don't believe all the crap that's out there if there's no receipts and it's just rumors. Okay. So when it came to her son's name being out there, like I said, typically I was deep diving for a bit there, to see if I could connect the two. Right now, I didn't do my due diligence because I literally posted from that channel that I thought had done their due diligence. But honestly, that channel does do a lot of good and usually is really good at the videos. But we all make mistakes sometimes, but we can always correct those mistakes. So that's the important part, is that when you do make a mistake, you just admit to it and you retract it. Okay. Hi, Bobby Atwell. How are you? So I'm just sorry guys, I know you guys are all talking and stuff like that, but again, shout out to Valerie there in chat. Okay, so we'll start off with the first one. Okay, and Belinda's in the house. She'll be watching this. Okay, so if there's anything that I do say wrong, she can correct me, just so you know. And okay, so image file. We'll start off with the first one. I'll take that comment thing down in a second. Okay, and again, I'm going to show you what I asked and what she said. Is this the first one? Okay. Thank you. Trying to wrap my. Is that the first one that I asked? No. That's not the first one. Hold on. Remove. Let me get my ducks in a row here. Let me just take this down for a sec so you guys can see properly. Image file. Sorry, guys. It's kind of like, oh no, that wasn't the first one. This was the first one. I went the wrong way. Okay. So I said, Belinda, have you heard if Daniel has taken a polygraph? For them not to do the search again, it could be, actually, you know what? Let me take off my Canadian thing here as well so that this can be presented better. And now I feel naked. Yeah, but whatever. I just want you guys to see it better. And she said, I don't know. He told me he wanted one, but I thought someone said that he already took one. So again, I said, yeah, but we don't know. So unless family member knows, public doesn't. And then she goes, yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. So that was basically it. She answered that one there. So we'll take that one down. Remove from studio. Go to the next one. Image. You guys are have to bear with me because I didn't screenshot them all because I don't like to get all confused at the same time. I can only multitask so much. Okay. So he did tell me that Malaya has a lawyer. That was on the 11th or 12th. So she always keeps saying the 11th or 12th because she doesn't quite remember. Was it the 11th or the 12th that she was there? Okay. And so, and I said, oh, very interesting. Wise regardless to do so. Okay. So that's from Daniel. Daniel said that. Hi, Mal. How are you? Okay. And let's see here. Image file. Let's get the next one. Okay. So when you say he, do you actually speak to Daniel? Because I know that some of the posts yesterday, it was like she would answer something, but I didn't sometimes know who was actually saying it to her. So I just wanted to clarify because that it was Daniel. So another interesting thing is when we were there on Saturday the 3rd, remember they disappeared on the 2nd, the chief of the, you guys know I can't say this, let's just go with that. I know I spelled that wrong. Yeah, don't worry, me too. That's quite a hard one to even say, let alone look at. I spelled that wrong. Community asked me and my family while we were parked on the side of the road where Malaya and the children lived because they were a member of that tribe. But Daniel told me that Malaya tried 3 times to register with them and she was refused. But now that they're missing and now that they are a member, he was a little put off about that. So basically that was saying that, yeah, like she tried 3 times to be part of that tribe, this one, and that she was refused. But all of a sudden, what, now they're a part of it, these children? You know, because remember, that's where her mom is, like that's her mom's thing, that same, what's it called? I'm trying to shorten it up. Knick-knack. We'll call it the knick-knack. I don't know how else to say it. Somebody can say it in chat to me and I'll try to pronounce it again. Anyways, and then she says, I spoke to him that one day, 11th or 12th. Okay. So that's for that. And remove from studio. Again, I'm just trying to ask her these things that come to my head and the things that everyone out there, it keeps asking about as well, and see what, see what she does know and stuff like that. And okay, so am I on my 4th one now? Shoot, did I show this one already, guys? Okay, so going back to what you said, I asked who told you Malaya lawyered up, and did you hear why? Just on my break, it's beautiful outside, nice and sunny. Okay, it was on my break. Daniel said she has a lawyer and that the mother took her phone and answers it. And then she said it's beautiful there too in Nova Scotia. And then I said, if I'm doing a live, am I allowed? Because I want to always know that I have her permission. Am I allowed to mention about the lawyer thing? No or yes. I hate to be stuck at work next to you. Okay, well, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, and then she said, yes, you can say about the lawyer. Okay. So I just always want to make sure that, again, that I'm getting her confirmation. She, for the most part, has, besides talking about her son, right? Because at the end of the day, you guys don't know who he is, and you guys got it wrong. And, you know, to be honest with you, I don't believe her son had any involvement, like some channels are trying to portray in it. You know, does he pay child support or whatever? Yes. You know, so there's these questions and stuff like that people are putting information out there. But unless she specifically lets me say stuff, you know, other than that, that's all I'm going to say. You got it wrong about her son. Okay. So, and you guys, just like myself, I'm not owed that information, to be honest with you. And so, again, I mean, for Belinda to be even speaking to me and giving me this information is just so appreciative as it is, even if it was only 5 sentences and stuff like that. But she's been gracious enough to basically say everything we've pretty much talked about. You know, she's like, yes, sure. Why? Again, these are her grandbabies. She wants to know the answers too. Okay, so let me get rid of that one and that one. Remove from studio. So I just as this is going on again. So I want you guys to remember her interview, how she sounded, what she said, and I want you to remember Daniel's interviews, how they sounded, what he says to some of these things that are going to come up, and a few of them are kind of going to be like, oh, okay, but this is good. Because again, then you get to know the whole more insight into what possibly could have happened to these kids, right? That's what I want for you guys. Just to use your due diligence, use the actual information out there, you know, and then use your best judgment on how you still feel. If you feel this way now, or do you feel another way? Stuff like that. Whoops, I don't want to add that to Sage. I was trying to remove it. But give me a second. Image file. Okay. So this one. Okay, so thank you. I'm just always trying to wrap my brain around it. This is me talking around the case, but I must say, how do you feel about Daniel? Do you sense any weirdness? I just don't know if he's a good manipulator or if he's authentic. Again, I know that these are your grandbabies, and to be living through this is just awful. Another question, were you ever in the trailer? Does it look as bad on the inside? So Belinda says, when I first saw a pic of him, my gut said there was something off. Seeing him on TV, I feel it's acting mostly. In person, I don't know now. To me, someone on the property has to know something about the kids. They just don't vanish. Sometimes where it says under construction there. Now, I believe she was typing something, and sometimes it puts up a, you know, like almost like a link or something like that. Anyways, and she said, I did go inside on May 3rd. Sadly, the place is just as bad. That may be what, and then so that's what she's saying, you guys. We've been talking about this, and I was trying to give credit by some of those pictures, but I was same thing, like what usually what's on the outside is what's on the inside. It's a bunch of chaos and stuff like that. And she's saying the place is just as bad on the inside. So there you go. She was in the trailer. Okay. Those are her words. And then I said, I agree with you, and make no mistake, Malehya's interview is not authentic. And she goes, that may be why the baby was going to be removed. Now you're going to have to bear with me a sec, because I need to take a screenshot of this, or me for a second, because like I said, I need to go screenshot some more of the conversation. So just bear with me for a moment, okay? Thank you. Actually, you know what? As I pull off some more screenshots, I think what I'm quickly going to do is play something here. 1 second. Where is it? Where are you? Okay, I'm going to play this, Sebastian Rogers. So I'm just going to play this, guys. Again, bring awareness to cases. So just give me a moment, and I'll be back with some more of the conversation. Trust me, you want to see some of this conversation. Hi. Thank you. I click it off, but sometimes I guess I don't click it properly. Yeah. So what I said there was, sorry guys, what I said there was that was a tribute video, awareness video for Sebastian Rogers that I did. Again, I will, like I said, talk to Belinda. If there's anything that she wants to add to a video and stuff like that, that she has that special meaningful to her, I'd more than be happy to do an awareness video for Jack and Lily. And, just in honor of them, a tribute type of video, but to bring the awareness. Okay. So it's very important, again, to keep these cases out there. Please hit the like and the share button. Yeah, I do like really doing the tribute videos. They mean a lot. It's my kind of footprint from the heart on the cases that I do follow, just because I know I like to do the videos. I can do them, and most people like them on there. But it's really always about, like I said, the children and awareness and stuff like that. Thank you so much, Patricia. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for the love on that one. And like I said, so I just wanted to gather some more, and I'll have to do this again. And just as, like I said, I get overwhelmed if there's too many, and then I lose track of exactly where I am for screenshots, just because I'm cool like that. But anyways, so let me go grab some more. Okay. And share screen. Nope, don't want to share screen. I want to bring in an image file. Okay. Do. Okay. I think I showed 5. I took a screening, I thought, of this so I could break it up so I knew where I was. 1, 2, I think I showed 5. Hold on, let me just see if this is a repeat. Yes, that's a repeat. Okay. Just wanted to be clear. Screenshots are always the life of me when it comes to doing it this way. Okay, let's try that again. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's this one. It's that little screenshot. Oh, that was probably the one I took to break it up. I guess that's what it looks like. Okay, that's not what I wanted then. We'll remove that bad boy. Add to stage. I got this, you guys. Don't worry. I got this. Remove. Get rid of that one. Remove. Okay, somebody's having a barbecue outside. My computer is right beside my window. And it's my nose, it knows. It almost smells though like more like the butane of it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Does she collect welfare? Obviously, I'm talking about Malaya here. And then she said she did it first, but now I do not know. And she said when she was with my son, you couldn't ask for a better mom. Oh, Rick rolls with me. Thank you. 1 second, guys. Just give me a second on that then. Okay, so hold on. So hold on there. Rena got one. Annie did. American Justice, Melissa, at Town Chat Cafe, and BJ Boop. Thank you, Charmaine. So anyway, so that means you don't have to have the slow mode. Thank you. So just so you know, that's going to go off 3 times. Charmaine loves her Rickroll. There's a little dog barking outside that you guys can hear. So again, thanks, Charmaine, you guys. That was Charmaine. Yeah, it lets you play with the things, like the little hearts and the different things, little emojis that I've made and stuff like that. There you guys go. Hi, Joe Hunter. How are you? Shout out like my steak well done. Yeah. We'll get back to this, guys. You're just going to have to give it a minute. Oh, wow. Well, we're doing that. We can sit here and look at a few things. I got 2 more to go off because Charmaine donated 5 of those. Thank you, guys. Again, bless. If you haven't done it right now, actually, you know what? Let me go to the thing. Okay. So the question was, who's involved with the disappearance of Jack and Lily? Lord, I didn't even type Jack with a capital. Okay. You know, Charmaine's kind of cool like that. She's kind of a cool Canadian sometimes. Yeah. You guys, I showed you guys on her birthday the cup I bought her, a true crime cup and a true crime bag. She likes purple. So, anyways, that true crime cup or tumbler that I got her was great. Anyways, 83% of you, based on 342 votes, think that Daniel and Malaya, the coolest. Too far, Sherman. Yeah, it's okay. Stroke your ego, Sherman. That's okay. You're allowed to. Yeah, hi, Sunny. Slow mode is on. Yeah, absolutely. Slow mode is on. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, if it wasn't on, it would be the chat would be brr, brr, brr. I can't have that. I got to be able to see what you guys are saying when there's enough people in chat. So sorry, I don't usually like to have it that high, but honestly, I'd have a headache. Okay, so that should be it for those. Nope. That's not the reason any of the inside of the trailer was fine. Kids are always clean and well dressed. So now in saying that, mind you, that kind of goes against what Belinda said when she was in the trailer on there, that it was as bad on the inside. Again, you know what? I'm just putting out the information. And, that's all I can do. Simple as that. Put out the information that is being said, and up to you guys to decide whatever you want to believe or not believe and stuff like that. As long as I know that, I'm always doing the right thing. Even if right, I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't in the trailer. I couldn't tell you myself. But anyways, so she said she did it first. She said that she was, you couldn't ask for a better mom, meaning Malaya. I thought that was a gift given to her and that was her calling. After seeing where she lived, I was blown away. And I said, right. I mean, she seems to love the kids in the pictures she has shown, but even taking Daniel off of her Facebook pics, where are all the 2024 pics? Like there was just like one or two and that was it. The rest of them started in 2023. Why? You can't sit there and say that Daniel was in all those photos because you all see the kids. So I am curious about that. That says something. Okay. That says something. Okay. But we're going to, like I said, we're going to get into some more juicy stuff in a sense coming up with all this. Okay. And when I say juicy, I mean, I just mean like it's stuff that, sometimes you hear people say it. And then when it's coming, say, from Daniel's mouth, say to Belinda again, right? That's the best answer and source that we can get, really, at this time when it comes to a family member. So unless Malaya or Daniel's going to pop up on this live, that would be amazing. We could sit there and ask them directly. But anyways, so there's that one there. So I'm going to take that down. No, we don't want to add that to stage. I got too many. Remove from studio. God, that barbecue smells so good. Image file. Okay, so was that the first one? And again, thank you very much, Charmaine. Okay, so that was that one. Did I show this one yet? Okay, so I think she took it down because so many people were being nasty. She's talking about her Facebook page. Daniel told me Malaya changed a lot, okay? Okay, right? Fixin'. Thank you. Thank you so much for the super sticker on there. Music's probably going to go off in a minute. Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Okay. This is worth your $10 here, Fixin'. Daniel told me Malaya changed a lot after Meadow was born, and she really didn't pay attention to Lily and Jack anymore. I said about postpartum depression, and he said it was way worse. Okay, Charmaine, you listening? Charmaine, that he was the only one looking out for them. Could explain the different interviews, to be honest with you guys. Let me read that again. Daniel told me Malaya changed a lot after Meadow was born and really didn't pay attention to Lily and Jack anymore. And the thing is, this is real, okay? Postpartum depression, but he's saying it was way worse. So trust me, you guys know of the cases out there where these mothers have really bad postpartum depression and have taken their children's life because Honestly, a man won't understand this, but it's a real thing. Just imagine if you've ever been in a deep depression. Well, times that by probably 10, okay? Because you know that most mothers uh, would never harm a hair on their children. But if you're in a state of depression, and I've been in a depression, don't get me wrong, that sucked. I let myself get into a depression once. Well, like meaning the first time I ever got into a depression, and it sucks. I regret that I ever felt sorry for myself, to be honest with you. But this is different. This is a little bit different. This is like when a child is born, men, unless you're delivering some babies out of your penis, you wouldn't know exactly what I'm talking about here. But for women, this is a real thing. Monthly periods, postpartum depression after you have a child, this is a real thing that happens to females. So when you guys want to whine about shaving and shit like that, don't even talk to me about it. Okay. Get a monthly. All right. Get all those freaking womanly things, shave your legs, shave your armpits, deal with giving the birth of a child and all that you have to go through, labor, putting a freaking watermelon out of your freaking slide there and stuff like that. And then you guys want to whine about shaving? Trust me, please don't. Just don't do it. But anyway, so postpartum depression, like I said, menopause, all these things. So I just want to really reiterate that this is a real thing. Okay. So please don't take slight of it, because again, there's so many cases out there where women have taken the lives of their children. There was one, if you guys remember this one last year. Okay. This is horrific, but the mother used gym equipment on her children and strangled them all while she asked her husband to go get dinner on the way home. She then jumped out of her bedroom window alive, and she's paralyzed. I think some of us might feel like that's karma, because she went to go take her own life, and basically she took all the lives of her kids while her husband was picking up dinner after work, which she knew. Like, she knew how long it was going to take him. And during that time, that's when she tried to take the lives of her kids and then jump out her own bedroom window. But she ended up living. She didn't die like she wanted to, right? So this stuff is real, people. Just want to say that. So my grocery order was delivered, had to come. Okay. Okay. So there has been a big piece of me wondering if she did something, and why Daniel is more authentic, because that's what me and Charmaine and a lot of people struggle with. Why is Daniel coming off as more of authentic, whereas clearly Malaya, her interview, just to keep it real, it sucks ass. It really does. It's the worst interview I could ever imagine a parent that's missing two children giving. And I've watched a ton of cases, interviews, and, Chris Watts goes right behind that one. But hers is probably from start to finish, because it's only the one, is the oddest one to me from start to finish. Nothing about it makes sense. Nothing about it seems authentic or genuine. I don't think we're wrong. I don't think we're wrong at all on that one. Okay. About whether Daniel's being authentic. So if by chance, let's just say, right? Because again, then you have to answer other questions to go with that. But let's say hypothetically that Malaya is in this worse than postpartum depression. Obviously, a man wouldn't know exactly what postpartum depression is to say worse, but obviously she's in definitely this huge depression going on. And so is he being authentic in trying to look for the children? But yet again, you have to go back to the fact that they both told the story. So was it hypothetically, okay, is Daniel covering up for Malaya? Or is just me talking out of my ass? But you have to put some credibility to why these two children disappeared, right? So we'll get into it a little bit more. And then I said, what day does Daniel work on? Do you know? And this is me asking this, of course, because I want to know if in my head, by chance, was Malaya home by herself with the kids and Daniel was working that day. And then he comes home, disappear, like this, the kids are gone, but then they concoct a story because love does stupid shit. Okay. Regardless, right? If you love someone, you'll do stupid shit for somebody, right? We see it all the time. So don't think that this is unheard of. We see all these people, we see all these interrogations and all this different shit that people do for the craziest reasons. We see it all the time. So that stuff doesn't, it doesn't faze me, because we see so much of this weird stuff that we know that we would never do, but that other people can do. And then she says, I have no idea. I know him and his brother travel together. And I said, when you say travel, is that meaning to work? Does his brother work at the same job? Does Malaya drive? And she says, that's the impression that I got from the cousin. And I said, who's the cousin? May I ask? Won't mention the cousin's name. Okay. So at the end of the day, let me just put it this way. She knew the last name, but I'm not mentioning no cousin's name. I think I might know who it is, because again, I've already, when you see certain names, then you see other names that were attached to it and stuff like that. So not showing that part has no relevance to me, and it doesn't need to be said, right? We're focusing on the people really that are within the property of that, of where Jack and Lily disappeared, when it comes to stuff like that. Okay, so remove that one. And yeah, so I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. Like I said, because if you understood that Malaya might have had, like, a lot of people think that Malaya had mental health issues going on, but how deep were these mental health issues going on is the question, right? So mine can be slight, yours can be, a little oversight, and some people can just have really bad mental health issues. And by the sounds of it, it sounds like Malaya was in a very deep postpartum depression. And could she have taken the lives of her children? Is it possible? Absolutely. It's possible. Did it happen? But that's a better insight for you, is it not? Thank you, Belinda, for sharing that. Thank you for saying that Malaya had lawyered up from Daniel on there. So these details matter. They do. Stop all the crappy speculation of rumors and shit, and just stick with things that even if Daniel might be telling mistruths, it's still at least out of the family's mouth and not some rumor that somebody put on some freaking post and stuff like that. We wouldn't want that now, would we, Deception Detective? We wouldn't want to put out a false narrative or false post or false information. Maybe you should have come to Crime and Shame to get actually all of the posts. Just saying, okay? I'm just being sarcastic, to be honest. Who's funding her legal? No idea. No idea. Didn't ask it, and I don't even know that Belinda would know that. Let me just quit. Okay, so I was on that one, and then, so I had asked if Malaya drove, and so ignore the Intercar World English. That was one of those things where it attached kind of like, a link, but she just said when Malaya left, she took the car. It was in her name. Hi, cats. So I just want to see if by chance if Belinda has said anything. Nope, she seems to be doing good. Belinda, are you still watching? Just let me know in Messenger if you are. Okay, like I said, I just want to do her proud. I want to put out the awareness for her grandbabies. I want to give everyone the proper information as well as we know it. Okay, so again, let's be very grateful and thankful. Don't be trashing. This is where people, right? When people start trashing the family like they do and accusing of all this stuff, this is where people back off, right? And then you don't hear from the family, because if they're going to get attacked every single time that they say something, and this is why in my head, I'm just like, for Belinda, like, be headstrong here, be strong, have that shield on, because I don't ever let people impact me in that manner. I do not care. If I'm fighting for something, and if these were my children, absolutely forefront. Myself, I'd be all over everything, news, everything. But again, this is typically if I was the parent, right? Now, some people aren't comfortable, so I appreciate that Belinda is talking in Messenger to let us know this stuff. Okay? Yes, she is. Well, again, big hearts for Belinda out there, guys. And just by the way, it's Belynda. That's how you spell Belinda. Okay. I know. Okay. It's kind of like sometimes when we see Lily and Lily. Well, I spell Lily the way that I seen it on the families pages, which was the double L. But I know that the news puts it as one. Not that it matters, right? I mean, but it kind of does, right? It's like if I seen my name spelled wrong, but whatever. I think some people used it both ways, but I feel like the family both used it with the double L's, but I could be wrong. Okay, so there's that one. Hold on. I think I'm on this one now. Make sure there's nothing there. Okay, thank you very much for confirming. I said, I mean, if Malaya was worse than postpartum depression, we see it a lot where mothers take their kids. And this is what we were just talking about, right? I said crazy rape, but it's defo happens. And she says, I'm wondering too. Again, she doesn't know. She wants answers. I did notice that she didn't post as many pics of Lily and Jack, right? So remember what was said earlier is that it's basically, what was it? I don't want to say it without saying the proper words, but about Lily and Jack, that she didn't seem to be, like she was this great mom. And then after having Meadow, that all of a sudden she didn't seem to care so much about Lily and Jack and wasn't, it was different. It was different, right? And that's, again, I will say this till I'm blue in the face. Postpartum is real. Okay. Don't underestimate stuff like that when it comes to females and the stuff that we go through, especially after having children. Men that don't spit out children, obviously they don't understand that side of things, right? I mean, you can try to explain it to them, but if you're not, just like, if I'm not a guy, how can I really give you a genuine thought about how men feel inside and their monthly menopauses and stuff like that? Can't. Only have a better understanding. Honestly, there was a story. Okay, and this is when I said about the story last year. And then she said, I did notice that she didn't post many pics of Jack. And she said, and I said, oh, right. I said, where's like 2024? Nothing. All of her pics are 2023 and last, basically, besides the Christmas one. And she said, yes, and the kids getting their haircuts. And then I said, I mean, this is why I'm curious about Daniel working one day a week. Was it on one of those days? And then she says that was news to me. So meaning she didn't, I don't think, realize that Daniel had only worked one day a week. That his work was slow. Now that was in an interview that he gave, and I don't remember which one and stuff like that. Okay, so you guys got to give me another minute because I believe maybe I have one more if I need to go capture some more. Okay. No, this one's different. Yes, he did. He never said anything. Okay, so he ever said anything about Janie or Justin hearing the kids that morning? She said only that the dog barks at everything, even if the car slows down out by the road. And that morning, the dog didn't wake his mother when it's barking. And I said, was she in the trailer or the fifth wheel? And she said, I think the fifth wheel. But remember, sometimes it's been known that she sleeps in the inside house as well. But obviously, you guys, we know yappy dogs, all they have to do is hear a noise. Rah, 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 rah. And Belinda said when she was there, the dog was barking all the time. Yappy, yap, yappy, yap, right? We all know if an abduction would have happened, rah, 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 dogs, their ears are so trained, they're so good. So, yeah, I was kind of wondering about that here. So no dog that day. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is that there obviously was a dog and the dog didn't bark. Right? So only the dog barks at everything. So what I'm saying was, now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Belinda said when she was there on the 11th or 12th, like, I don't think she said she heard a dog that day. Right? But she said she was there on the 3rd and 5th. And I think 11th. Am I correct in that? 3rd, 5th, and 11th. Anyway, I'll probably get to that part. She goes, but the day I was talking to Daniel, which is the 11th or 12th, she goes, but, oh, there we go. So but the day I was talking to Daniel, I never heard the dog. right? So obviously, if the dog was on there, you would have heard a dog. Rah, 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 rah. We all know dogs, rah, 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 rah. Unless they freaking got their vocals tied or something. Dogs, they're just, their ears are so good to hear noise. So imagine on gravel, vehicles coming by, the kids, and no dog is barking. No, Mel, so Belinda is the biological father of Jack and Lily's mom. Okay, so she's the grandmom. She's a biological grandmother of Jack and Lily. And remember that Malaya was with her son, right? And had Jack and Lily. And then Malaya ended up being with Daniel for the last, whatever it was, 3 or 4 years there. Okay. And so that's who's talking to us here. The person that's in these posts is Belinda, the biological grandmother. Yeah. I recall Daniel asking for a polygraph test. Well, that's just it. I had asked Belinda this. She doesn't know the answer. She said, like, just like us, he asked for one, that she heard he took one. But I said, but unless a family member saying that, it's kind of the same information that we got. And the police aren't going to tell you. The only person that might tell you, and we're never going to believe him. Daniel can say all he wants. So unless he literally holds up the results in front of our face to say that he passed, which is probably never going to happen. Okay. And that's not just because of that, because I don't even know if they give you that piece of paper that says you passed. But it's not going to happen. We're literally not going to know unless a family member, sneaks it out there. Okay. On there. Okay. So that was my last one from there. Remove from studio. Now I gotta go grab a couple more. Hold on a second. What else? Do I got another video I can play? 1 second here. Just while I go grab some more. Is there anything else I can play? Oh, I'll play the one I did for Nicola Bully out of the United Kingdom. Okay, so give me a moment as I go grab some more. And this was in honor of Nicola Bully. The dear mom that ended up, taking her dog Willow for a walk to the after dropping off her 2 girls to the dog park, and only her cell phone and the dog was found at the bench of the River Wire. This is out of the United Kingdom. So, anyways, I'm going to play this one. How long is this one? 1 minute and whatever. Okay. This live is in memory of Nicola Bully. Sorry, on there. Okay, now, actually went back to go grab more conversation, you guys, and that was, of course, in honor of Nicola Bully. So prayers in heaven to Nicola Bully and those blessed children and her husband, Paul, and for the loss of that beautiful, again, just a beautiful aura. So anyways, I went to go grab some more chat, and literally there was no more. I guess that's where it ended, was that information. But trust me, when you're talking and going through it, that was, like I said, it seems like a lot longer. So the only last one that I had was just simply image file. Okay, so this was the last one, basically saying she was there, we were there, she said, and I did ask her when you said we, but right. And then she said she preferred not to give names, and that was perfectly fine. I was only really asking if another family member was there, and she answered me that, and that was fine with me. Again, I'm not I'm not expecting sometimes like those details. I was really kind of thinking of one person in general. She says we were there on the 3rd, 5th, and then again on the 11th and 12th. And on the 11th and 12th, she was saying that 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 she didn't hear a dog then. Okay, so now Donna's video. I'm gonna watch. Okay, so I will play Donna's video. Now, again, if you're not into watching anything to do with a psychic medium, feel free. You guys know where to leave. Obviously, if it's not your cup of tea, at the end of the day, I have respect for Donna Serafina and what she does. I have very much big respect for Sweetie Pie Low, and me and Sweetie Pie Low. Again, I know that me and Sweetie Pie Low, same thing. Sweetie Pie Low was a even bigger skeptic, okay, than I was. And then just like I remember with Donna Serafina, she nailed the Valo case. You can sit there and make shit up and have no clue about it. But unless you've listened to her reading that she did way prior to the kids being found, Donna nailed that case, okay? And it was ridiculous. I always go to that case because honestly, it was jaw dropping. So again, people don't have to believe in that stuff. I really don't give a crap, to be honest with you. I know I've had my own personal experience to know that there's life after death. I don't need anyone to confirm that for me at all. I'm not a Looney Tune that sits there and starts preaching. I don't even go to church, right? My mom sent us to church to get us out of her hair as a kid. Does it mean I don't believe? Of course, I have one of the biggest open minds ever, and that's probably why the outlet this little nephew came through me that had passed away at 3 years old from meningitis, right? And it's because I know if anyone's going to come, they're going to come through me and my family. Trust me. Everybody else is all skeptical and stuff about everything. And they're closed-minded. I ain't closed-minded. You never say never to stuff. And at the end of the day, Donna Serafina, she talks about Peter Pumpkin Eater. Bottom line is, when people have receipts to back them up and you can sit there and go back to them and you've watched their tarot readings, are they accurate or are they just full of crap? So, you do want to do your due diligence and check it out. Do people have special gifts in this world? Absolutely. Some people do. Some people think they do. Some people don't and think that they do. Right? But again, each to our own on this one. So I will pull that up. Donna's reading that she did. We already know that Donna Serafina had talked about the nursery rhyme, Peter Pumpkin Eater, and that there's a Peter's Pumpkins, right? And then there's this big sun thing that she was talking about. And she was talking about a fire truck and the tower things, right? This person, Amanda, finds this thing that looks like a freaking sun from Google Earth and stuff like massive. And Donna was like, I keep seeing this thing, right? Just first, again, for the people that, the people that understand what I'm saying and they know who Donna Serafina is, thank you for supporting, who Donna Serafina is and Sweetie Pie Low and all those really good channels out there that really are just trying to be genuine in their intentions. But not only are they genuine, but they actually have gifts and stuff like that, okay? But, I don't know what I was going to say next. There was something about Donna, but bottom line, she had an incident with her child and, which led her down this path. It's kind of like Abby and Libby's case. Abby and Libby were murdered. That's the Delphi case. And Kelsey, the sister of Libby, dropped them off. Well, her life path changed all because of what happened to Abby and Libby. And of course, she always will feel guilty, no matter what she says, that she will feel guilty that she dropped them off there that day. And the grandma will always feel guilty of Libby that she allowed that to happen, but nobody could have predicted anything in a small town of 3,000 that two girls would go for a walk to the Monon High Bridge Trail and end up being murdered by a man named Richard Allen that took the lives of these girls. And he lives in Delphi. And he even developed the pictures of the girls for the girls' funeral and gave free of charge. Amazing, right? Anyways, so let me pull that up, okay, guys? Belinda, as for this conversation, again, I think that there were some important key things here for sure. And if you guys haven't listened to yesterday's, go back and get more key facts. But we learned that Malaya has lawyered up. This was said by Daniel to Belinda. We also know that she was, according to Daniel, way worse than postpartum depression, and that she seemed to be not caring so much. And Daniel saying to Belinda that it feels like he's taking care of the kids basically, because she's distanced herself, and that this ever since Meadow was born, that she wasn't the same, you know, and it's heartbreaking to know that, but it's a twofold, because like Belinda said, Malaya is like just like me. I was meant to be a mother, you know. I can't tell you about postpartum depression because I didn't have it. I have one child. He's 28 years old. My Matthew. Okay, my Maddie Bratty. But I can't tell you about the postpartum side of things. But for me, I knew I was meant to be a mother, and I did my job and did it well. My son might not feel that way, but now that he has a child, he might understand it a lot more. But that was my job, So here, Belinda says, like when she was with my son, it was like this was her gift to be a mom. And then after Meadow's born, it's like things changed. And it's almost like backing off from Jack and Lily and not giving them the attention. But that stuff does happen. Okay. The sundial shape. Right. Exactly. There we go. And thank you so much, Ben, on that. Okay, let me just pull that up now. And again, forever, who's ever staying is staying. Thank you guys. Please hit that like and the share. So appreciate it. Thank you so much to Belinda on this. And let me just find that. So thank you guys. Honey, would you be able to ask Belinda if they have a landline? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great question. Belinda, can you please tell me, do you know if Daniel and Malaya had a landline, or was it cell phones only? Do you know if they did it? Because I wonder that too, about if they did actually have a landline. But or if it was just cell phones only, or if they had both, or if you know that answer, could you put that in Messenger? That would be great. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, I just gotta go grab Donna's. I know that it was sent to me. Just 1 second. I know Sharon sent it to me for sure too. And I know that you keep sending me Mike's stuff and stuff like that. And he's saying Daniel Martell's. Don't forget to check out Mike Damon, you guys. For anyone that does enjoy watching his content. Oh my God. I'm just going to go to Donna Serafina's channel, obviously. No, Sharon Parker. I can just go to Sharon. Sharon, where is she? I went to Sharon, but I actually clicked on Charmaine's. Okay. Is this Donna's? Okay, yes, it is. Okay. Again, this stuff might mean nothing. It might mean something. But I think for her to even come up with Peter Pumpkin lyric, and then there be a Peter's, like, what? Really? There's actually a Peter's Pumpkin in that little spot? Ooh, Charmaine, you spending on the chat. Let me see here. Who got that? 1 second. Okay, Mel got one. Sherry Krause. Mark, congratulations, Mark. Angels are here. Angels are here, and Andrea got those giftings. Okay, so again, thank you, Charmaine. She just wants me to love her already more than I already do. I was coming from scene members on that day. The kids being dressed and clean is the people that hung out there. Yeah, I'll have to come back. Like I said, it's just. Peter Kepter trapped his wife in a pumpkin shell. Very kept her very well. Valerie, just to let you know, so for me to see any of the comments that are going through the live is very slim to see these all again because I have to try to focus on the live itself. It's just me up here on there. So I know you're saying some stuff, but I don't know. But I know that through email. I desert you guys in a second. Just know that. Just know that. Okay. Donna Serafina. This one? It was worth 5 memberships, wasn't it, Charmaine? Okay, Jack. I'm just waiting. Is there one more to go off? Yep. October 29th. Yeah, Sharon did too. Charmaine, you were first, though. Just first. Okay. Yes, October 29th, Jack's birthday. There's that beautiful pumpkin cake on there. Okay, very funny, Mark. Yeah. Oh, is my go-to psychic. Mine is John Edward on there. Okay, so let's play this, guys. And it's like 8 minutes and whatever. So again, if you're invested, always have an open mind. Just if you don't, okay, I just want to say something really quickly. Okay. So I'm a customer service agent. Okay. And so I was talking to this one customer and I know he was not white. I can tell you that because he had some sort of accent, but this customer kept laughing and laughing every time I would talk or something or say anything. He was laughing, which made me laugh. So anyone that knows me knows that I laugh all the time. You know, everyone knows in the office, Sunny is that sunshine bright bulb out there. Okay. So anyway, so he's laughing just as much as I do. So I'm like, well, aren't you a happy one? And then he starts giggling again. So then we were talking about something and I said, well, and he said something like, well, you never know where life takes you. And I was like, that's exactly it. Right. Type of thing. And then I said, YOLO. And he's like, YOLO. And I could tell that he didn't know what I meant. And I would mark in a second, I'd have banned you all. So I said, YOLO, you only live once. And then he's like, anyways, the conversation's going on. But I said at the end of the conversation, I was like, so what's the word that you learned today that we talked about? And he's like, YOLO, Sonny. Like, that's it. Right. I'm a free bird. Again, I choose to live in a happy place in my life. Yes, do I get sad? I don't wake up miserable. I don't go to sleep miserable. It's very few and far and in between. If I get upset at somebody on YouTube, trust me, I don't even think about them a second later, regardless, to be honest with you. I don't let people affect me or guide me that way. Unless it's your loved ones that are really close to you that are trying to hurt you, that's a little bit different, but then I don't put up with that crap either. If you speak to me ignorantly, then expect it back because I don't talk to people that way unless spoken to that way. I don't want to say I'm an angel, but come on. I really do not take my moods out on people because I don't really have moods. But when I do, I warn people. I will tell you, look, I'm just saying to you, I'm pretty emotional today, or I would say, you know what? And I don't have it anymore, but I say, just warning you, it's second day of my monthly, be aware, don't poke a bear when the bear's, like on the monthly. Okay. And stuff like that. But anyways, I just find it funny sometimes. Like, it's like I said, YOLO, right? You only live once. Don't have regrets and stuff like that. So never say never to things, if you just think you're gonna die, go ahead, die, get buried, let some ants eat at your bones and stuff like that. Go right ahead. You're just dead anyway, according to you. Or you could believe on a positive side that you don't know what's after death. I'd rather think positively than negatively, first of all. But you know what? Like that. I already had my experience. I don't need anyone to clarify that for me. So I'll go and die, and I'm going to come down and poke Charmaine in the ass with an arrow or something like that, or somebody's going to get some arrows in their butt. But just know, just never keep a closed mind. Always have an open mind. Be skeptical, but just always have a very open mind and live life a YOLO. Life's too short. Enjoy it. You know, if you're a depressed person, whatever, pull your ass out of it the best you can. I've done it. I used my own brain cells and stuff like that. But I'm not going to lie. Sometimes people need medicine. Okay. Some people need a little bit extra help there on there. So postpartum depression, I don't know if she was taking pills and stuff like that. But again, it's real. And not everything can be fixed by somebody's brain if they're not mentally strong up there. But we are, right, guys? Anyways, are you ready? Are we done? Can I play Donna now? Shut up, Sonny. Play the video, damn it.
Thing to say is that even when I'm not doing a reading, it just keeps flashing in front of my face. These high wire towers. Now, are they electrical wires? There's a radio tower up in one place where somebody who lives in Nova Scotia sent me some photos of where it reminded her, but I see like a row of the really long wire towers. So maybe for landlines, maybe for electricity, I'm not sure what they're for. They're different than the phone poles, they're actually wires. And it feels to me, you can definitely see them from where a child could be or some evidence could be. But they're off. I feel like they're to the right of the wires. But that I don't know for sure. And I don't know the distance because that's kind of hard, but it just feels like we're almost going parallel to the wires and then they're almost under the wires, but they're not under the wires, but the wires are a landmark. It's real important. Where I felt like you turn off onto like a maintained utilities person's, you know how they have the dirt road, but it's maintained. But then there's like a metal gate because it's only supposed to be for the workers. Now, where that round thing is, I don't see a gate and I don't see the towers, but that doesn't mean they're not there. Are they there? I don't see them and I don't know from this far away. And if I look on Google Earth for these things, it doesn't really show. With the satellite images, it just doesn't really show me where the wires are. So it shouldn't be that hard to find though, because the island, or at least that area that they live in, doesn't have a lot of that. It doesn't have a lot of that. So it's like, if you look around Westville or wherever you're looking, look for where some wires are, the wire towers, and go right along there. Okay. We're back to the wire towers again. Maybe they are, okay, so what happened was that object I saw, literally, I totally believe that that's what I saw in my vision. What I don't know though is there more of them? In other words, if it's some sort of retaining pond or water reservoir, did they order a bunch with that same kind of lid? Because it's some sort of landmark clue as to resolution of this case. That's what I don't know about, but I totally believe that that's what I saw. Was that, again, I can't say the location, although, okay, so it's about 15 minutes from their family home. It's right off the father's way to work. It's about 6 more minutes past there. So, or about 6 minutes from there. I don't know if he went to work. I don't know anything about that type of information. I'm only giving information that I'm receiving. And somebody wrote that to me, so I didn't even confirm it. Again, though, okay, I 100% believe that's what I saw. Is there more? That's the thing. Is there more? Now, the lady who lives in Nova Scotia, she said that when she heard the reading I put up the other day, the first place she thought of was Green Hill Lookout. And she said the reason she thought of that is because when the road flattens out is where the lookout is and the sun hits it and it's real pretty. But she said besides that, it also has the tower, a big radio tower, right? I guess you turn up one of these maintained utility roads or something. And there is one of those iron fence gates. So could it be that? It could be, but I don't have any feeling one way or another. I'm just relaying the information that someone who lives there, that's what she thought of when she heard me. And then, what was the other thing I said? Oh, about the nursery rhyme. So
I know we're all entitled to our own opinions for season. That's not the way Donna works. You don't know her. But that's not the way she works. Donna doesn't sit there and play games like this. Now, you can have your feelings. Don't get me wrong, okay? But she's not all over the place. She's been talking about Peter Pumpkin Eater. She's been talking simply about the Transformers. She's been talking about the sundial thing. The thing, that obviously she was showing. And pretty much, like I said, yes, it's 15 minutes up the thing. Does it mean it means anything? Could not be. For her to get these, a possibility for sure. Again, go back and watch Fallow. You want to get your mind blown? Go get your mind blown. Go back and watch the Fallow case if you know it on there. And as for somebody that made a comment, absolutely, Jay Slater's case. Jay Slater's case was weird too. Very weird. But anyways, so I get it for a season that you can have your opinion on this, but Donna's not that way, okay? Don't, please. I know Dolly Vision said stuff like that. And again, he doesn't know her. He was talking out of his ass on this. And, but yeah, I like to set the record straight. Go do your own homework on Donna. She's not all over the map on this. She's talked about a few things. That's it. This is hers, like, what, second time she's even done a video on it. But to sit there and say that Donna would do something like that, I'm telling you right now, she's not that way. She doesn't work like that. She doesn't go to Google Maps and go, well, let me just come up with this. It's just not her style whatsoever. Like, some people might do stuff like that. Donna's not one of those people. Just saying on that. And that's for everybody, okay? I give credit where credit's due. Like I said, I'm not a dumbass. I didn't fall off a turnip truck yesterday and stuff like that. I'm very wise to people myself, and I'm sorry a lot of you guys are too. That's one of my gifts, is that I know that I am creative and I can do a lot of creative things. I can paint, I can freaking draw, I can do whatever when it comes to being creative. I can play music if I want to, stuff like that. I'm just creative. My other thing is people. Ever since I was younger, I had a gift to be able to read people around me. When I say read people, I'm talking about your auras. I know if you're a snake. I know if you're full of shit. All you have to do is talk to me for a couple minutes in front of my face. Or the best I can do online is kind of like look in your eyes, look at things like that, look at what you're portraying. And sometimes someone like Daniel, for instance, makes me wonder. I'm second guessing myself. Do I go by my gut instinct? You should always go by your gut instinct. Absolutely. Does it make it right for, everybody? No. But my one gift is that I look for the genuineness, the true hearts, the true people, right? And so those are the only people that I'll let in my life as well, my real life. I do not need friends. I do not need a lot of friends. What I care about is people are genuine and real only. And those are the people that I let be in my circle, because I love people that are deep empaths, that care a lot, and that they just have that beautiful side about them. So I'm not going on what Dolly. It's just I know it's just your opinion, and I'm giving you my opinion back to you on this one, so you can think that all you want, but I'm telling you straight up, Donna doesn't work that way, regardless. Yes, you're entitled to your opinion, and you're being respectful about it. It's not like you're being disrespectful. So it's only if you were being totally disrespectful, right? Obviously, I don't put up with that. But you were being very respectful in your comment. So I appreciate that. Okay. My gut says the mom did it. Sammy G. Bottom line is, you guys, doesn't matter if it's Four Seasons, Sammy, Sharon, Mr. Hemi, everyone that's here. We would love to have answers for what happened to Jack and Lily. Why? You wouldn't be here if you didn't care. You're here because this case is, first of all, it's sad, it's intriguing, okay? Because there's mystery to it. And because you guys want to know, like, what truly happened to Jack and Lily. Is it the typical scenario of the parents having something to do with the child missing? Is it truly an abduction? And it's the intrigues of cases that really, again, can shoot them international, like what's happened with this case on there. But the reality is, these are someone's children, someone's grandbabies, someone's nieces or nephew. I'm thinking always about those people, the bus driver that's now impacted every time he has to drive by that road. Every time that the children know that Jack and Lily don't go to school no more, right? Not just the family, but all the other people of the community that this has impacted. What matters to me in this channel, okay, Donna, again, this isn't fact. She's just putting out what she's getting. But it's very important that the channel always put out the fact. And if we're wrong about saying things that we are saying is fact and it's not, we retract that. It's not about ego. It's not about any of that. It's always about the children first. Now, if Donna or anybody else has some sort of insight, perhaps, into, the case, then so be it. Hindsight is the one that's going to tell us. But possibly if there's people in the Nova Scotia area around there that might want to spend their weekend just taking a look around these particular areas, that would be wonderful. We don't know what RCMP is doing. They said that they're not searching, but that doesn't mean they've stopped. They're just, obviously saying that they're not doing a search. Maybe it's because they have more information that they're working on. Maybe they don't. Maybe they are clueless. I don't think that's the case. But, again, there's people out there that literally truly care, but want to be boots on the ground. I would love to be boots on the ground, by the way. Boots on the ground is very important. It gives you, JLR does it, and he does it well. Okay? He's boots on the ground in so many cases. You guys would never have that information if it wasn't for the boots on the ground people. You guys would not have this information today if it was, or yesterday, if it wasn't for Belinda, the grandmother, speaking out and giving you guys the information that she knows of, right? Because again, you want to know more about the case? Here it is today, yesterday, right? So we appreciate that. Anyways, let's go back to watching the rest of it. I'll come back to your guys' comment.
What she thought of was right at the bottom of the hill from the overlook.
My bad. Sorry, Kent. Kent, to answer your question, as far as Belinda knows, it was a cell phone only, because she, Malaya, would talk about the very bad reception out there. Okay, so that was to answer your question, and thank you, Belinda, for answering that. And
is an abandoned theme park, and I think she said, see, it's secondhand, and then I'm trying to remember, but I think she said that there is some structures there from, they had like one little section of nursery rhyme type of things, that were built or whatever for the kids to play. So it's abandoned, but there are still buildings and structures there. And I'm just showing some pictures now. And along the back of it is a river creek. It's a river or a creek. And there's a bunch of forest surrounding it, a ton of forest surrounding it. And it's just down the hill from the overlook. So that's the area that she thought of when I was saying this. And I don't have a feeling one way or another. I'll leave it open. As far as the round thing, it's like my breathing stopped when I saw that. I was just staring at it. And I totally believe that's what I saw. Again, it doesn't have the other aspects. I don't know if they have those somewhere else. And I know I keep repeating myself, but that's because it has to sink in that if there's other ones that are identical to that, or if that was based on a logo of something, then it could be applied to a different location. So I'm gonna just see for a minute if I get any more, but definitely those wires are an important factor, and I just don't feel like the regular phone poles, you know, it could be, because when you see stuff in a reading, it's like if you see this idea, then they're gonna let you have it. If they want a fast blue Chevelle and you see a fast blue Mustang, and you know, they might let you have it if the idea is he liked fast cars. Like that's just an example of something. But they're still showing me wire towers, like the big ones, and going along, and then the children were brought off, not just directly under them, but just off to the side. But they're a landmark. Okay, so I'm going to show you the other locations, and again tell you I don't have a feeling one way or another. I don't know. I just keep seeing wires. They're under these big wires, or right off to where it's not exactly under, but kind of right up near. Who lives in Nova?
Of course, that was Donna Serafina. Hey, you guys, look what StreamYard's doing. You guys see that on your right-hand side? I looked up, and then all of a sudden this thing pops up saying, show comments in your live. Yay. Hi, Amanda. How are you? On there. Okay. So again, that was Donna Serafina. Ben, could you do me a favor? Could you please post Donna Serafina's link in the chat again for people? That would be amazing on there. Okay. So now, let me just see. Belinda, are you still here? Just let me know if you're still watching or not, because it's getting late there. It's like, you know, that's the thing, is that our time zones are like 4 hours difference, right? So it's like 10 to 12. Oh my God, 2 o'clock there. Belinda needs to get some rest on there. Okay. One of those things, like I said, I'll see what else with me and Belinda in conversation, like, you know, if questions come to me that she might be able to, you know, offer assistance in saying, like, again, you know, you guys can leave a comment perhaps, maybe, you know, about something that I'm not thinking of to ask, but I really wanted to ask a lot of those things that everyone keeps talking about, especially with regards to this case. And, you know, if she can answer sometimes, and we'll see, right? Again, this whole reason for this live, of course, is to bring awareness to Jack and Lily. These beautiful children. Simple as that. Bring awareness. Speak up about it. Talk about it. But the bottom line is, you just simply want the truth and the answers and stuff like that. Oh, that's Montana. That's the other child. Bambi was here earlier. She's going to start meowing in a second. I'll tell you why she will. Because she loves daddy. I adopted her. I always said if I was going to have a girl, the child's name would be Montana, because I worked in cosmetics back in the day, and the fragrance Montana came out. There she goes. See that? That's her saying, I want to go see daddy. I know you adopted me, but I want daddy. Whereas Bambi, psycho, Bambi seems to be more, well, Bambi loves us both, but Bambi always comes and lays. Oh, there's a doggy outside. You guys hear that? But anyways, that's our 2 girls. I have a son. My son is with my ex-husband. Me and my husband, Steve Austin, here, I basically I'm 21 years older than my husband. Okay, girl. The cougar, the cub. But my husband's amazing. We're at the same hearts, same initials, same zodiac sign. Yeah, I think it was meant to be in the stars one day. That's why I say never, you know? And so Amber says, hi, countryside. Hold on, I want to see if, let me just see if Belinda's still alive over there. Yes, Belinda, you need to go to bed. This live's going to end in a minute on there. You guys, again, this live's going to end in a few minutes here. Appreciate it. And please give your biggest hugs and hearts to Belinda. Again, that's the biological grandmother of Jack and Lily. And please also for her son. Obviously, it has to be absolutely just devastating to the family. Again, put out the correct information about the son, but you guys have the wrong information out there in regards to who her son is. So with that being said, devastating, just absolutely devastating. So please put out the hearts there, guys, okay? For Belinda, and thank her for the information that she has given, and take it. And if anyone hasn't watched the live yesterday, you want some more information that she gave out, go watch that live yesterday. And please hit the like and the share. If you haven't watched that one yesterday, do go watch it. Just simply hit the like and the share. Even if you watch the video or the live for like 5 minutes, please do that. Okay, that would mean a lot to her. That's why she's speaking up. Yeah, it's to bring out the awareness for her grandbabies. Thank you, Charmaine. And thank you to all the people that you gifted memberships to as well. Just trying to see here. Whoops, I went too far with my hearts. Said I was minus 20 on there. Did I hit enter? I don't know if I hit enter or not. Hit enter. There we go. Let's see here. Yeah, that's exactly. Wow, Kent, I figured Belinda's time was the same as yours. Thanks, Belinda. Absolutely. I don't feel like, come on, you guys. Come on. Me and Charmaine have put up hearts. Let's go. Come on now. Put out some hearts for Belinda. Okay? Put out some hearts for me. But for Belinda on there. Prayers, Belinda. We got a prayer. Absolutely. Little Jack. Little Lily. Isn't it? It's so hard. Look at these sweet little faces. It's so, like, inside right now, literally, I hurt so badly. I just actually, like, the inside of me wants to just cry. Because you have to sit here and look at these little smiley faces. Any of these cases hurt, guys. That's right, Ben. That's right. Give those hearts. That's right, Amanda. There you go. Jack and Lily. I was thinking that today. I'm going to make a little emoji. Charmaine, get out of my brain. I was thinking that today that I'll make a little emoji with for Jack and Lily. That way, if you're a member of the channel, you'll be able to, of course, click the emojis on there. Hearts, hearts, hearts coming all along. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Again, do it never for the channel. Please do it for the children. Oh, there's Montana, the other child on there. Actually, just give me a second. Okay. Hi, Four Seasons. Thank you so much. Lady Dog Lover, a.k.a. Jean. Oh, call him Kitty. Got the rainbow hearts going. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just going to go let out Montana for a sec. 1 sec, guys. Okay. BJ Boop. Yes, I've seen some more people. Ben got some red ones now. Mel's got some out there. Linda Farmer. There you guys go. Sherry Cook. Bobby Outwell. Sunshine. I got sunshine. YouTuber. Hey, guess what? YouTuber's in the house. All right. Thank you, YouTuber. And everybody. And again, thank everybody that has subscribed to the channel. If you want to keep following this case with us. Again, just here to put out the truth, the facts that we know of. And again, it doesn't mean that, someone isn't sending false information, to Belinda, meaning Daniel, or information. We don't know. We don't know if it's truth or not. But I hope that between yesterday and today so far, that there's more information to help you guys decide what could have possibly gone on. Again, Malaya has lawyered up, and Danielle had said that to Belinda. She's obviously has been going, or still is going through some major postpartum depression and that. So again, what day did Daniel work? Don't know that answer yet. She doesn't know that answer. As she said, that the dog, there was like Janie, Justin, and Malaya and Daniel were living on the property. Malaya left on the 3rd, was told that apparently that her, according to Daniel, to Belinda, that CPS was going to take Meadow, which is the baby. So what part of the lawyering up has anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily, or does it have to do more with the CPS services and stuff like that? Either way, usually a wise choice, regardless. Whether someone's guilty or innocent, it's a wise choice to do that at the end of the day. But, Daniel's been more quieter, but, he's still speaking. I wish he would still keep speaking up. If he's truly innocent, just keep speaking up, Daniel, and tell your truth. I mean, he has said things that, usually a truth sayer says. I'm a truthologist, cut the bullshit, type of thing. One sec. Oh my God, sometimes I talk so much, my throat got dry there. And I was about to cough, but I didn't want to cough in your face. Came in late. I'll watch the replay. Yeah, again, even if people watch this and just strictly go to, but I want you to make sure, you guys, when it comes to Daphne Anne Sullivan, that is factual. That is the great aunt. So I'm sorry, Deception Detective and whoever else is putting out a bunch of bullshit information, but all I see is people seem to want to talk about that crap, right? And I don't mean her post, but meaning Daphne's was about how she was feeling and her thoughts. Okay? Yesterday's live and today's live is about information that you want to hear about the case. So that's what throws me off, is that why people want to stick to drama of that. But just to be clear, as I showed you earlier, and I'll show you again, image file. Boop, 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 boop. And the reason why I show you, and then thank you to Belinda for allowing me to show our conversations, again, is because she wants the awareness out there, and she wants, if there's answers there that can be had, then so be it. So like I showed you, I knew of Daphne's name at the start of this case. Hers and Belinda's, I kept checking on to see, what's posted. She had this one. Someone asked her the question of who her brother's name was, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe the name was Joseph, which Daphne said when someone said, "Who's the for the brother, her brother?" Someone said, "Well, who's the granddad?" And she said, I think Joseph or something, which is the grandfather of course, Lily and Jack. So it's not false, people. So please, if you do see it, just know you have, more brain cells than the people that are going to try to twist this around on there. But just fact, Daphne Anne Sullivan, and the 5 posts, even though I showed 4 because 2 of them are duplicates. Again, a Facebook group Charmaine sent them to me from a Facebook group that posted them. So she sent me those, and those came off of the CBA news. Okay. So I don't need, again, to send anybody any links. I don't need to prove it to myself. I don't need to prove it to Deception Detective. He can do his own homework if he wants the link. But I mean, the information's right there, and it doesn't take a rocket science. I just wish he would have done his due. As much as I love the guy watching his show, I just wish that he would have done his due diligence, and he didn't. He showed Michelle After Dark's one post on there, and he said it was cropped and cut off, and he didn't buy into it and stuff like that. He should have done his homework before saying stuff like that, because he has a bigger channel, and those bigger channels, then those people start believing what he's saying, and that's not fair to the case. And that's why I put on a post there asking him to retract. And hey, I'll ask you guys, go to his post yesterday where he's talking about Daphne Anne Sullivan, and you tell him that you came from Sunny Justice's channel, that it's a crime and shame, and that Daphne is the real aunt and stuff like that. Go ahead and flood him on that one, because it takes away from the case, right? And to me, that does. It hurts when people are putting out stuff like that, and then they have bigger viewers and they start believing it. So anyone that doesn't know this channel, right, because it's a smaller channel, is going to believe that Daphne Anne Sullivan is just a rumor post and whatever, but that's not the information we want out there. We just want the truth, do we not? We want it to be accurate, do we not? Right? That's what's important. And thank you for your kindness, for the donations, you guys. I appreciate that. Charmaine gifted 5 memberships. Fixin 2 did a $10 super chat. Charmaine again gifted 5 memberships. So again, I'll do up a Lily and a Jack emoticon for the next time I do a live, which is probably tomorrow. Just saying, probably tomorrow. We'll see. Has the bio dad been? Yes, Mark, the bio dad has been questioned. Yep. Belinda has said that. She has, he has. Yes. Yeah, me and Charmaine are going to have to, that's why, unfortunately, Charmaine couldn't come on tonight, but Charmaine will be on again, and then she can give us the thoughts too about, because again, poll results. You know what? Yeah, the other day, I hate it when I do this. I've done this a few times. When I make a poll and then I totally forget about it. Sorry, I did that the other day. 80. So it's actually still at the same, Charmaine. Out of 494 votes, the same percentage exists as it did at 326. 83% think it's Daniel and Malaya that had something to do with it. And whether somebody thinks it's one or the other, it only gives you 4 things, guys, to ask, right? So I have to be selective on what I'm saying. I couldn't do like Daniel only, Malaya only, Bottom line is, on Friday, they both told the story. That's what matters there. They both told the story, whether it was truth or false. They both told the story about being in bed, Lily coming in the bedroom. So fact is, bottom line, they're claiming for sure that on Friday that this is when it happened. Okay, that's out of their mouths. So they have to stick to that. They can't change that story. If they start going off that story, again, their ass is grass. They've already gone off the story. So again, let's see what becomes of all that. What, Bobby? Wait, where'd you get that from? Daniel is the biological father of Meadow and Meadow only. Jack and Lily are have a biological father, which is Belinda's son. And the internet jumped the gun on who the biological son is and got it wrong. So that's fact. Yeah. Yeah, that's all we want, you guys. We just want the facts, right? You guys, come on. You guys know that, right? Just the facts. Give us the facts. We can talk about shit all day long. about speculation. But the facts are the most important thing to understanding a case. And that's why if someone puts up there that Daniel failed the polygraph test, don't believe it. It's not true. There's not one person that's going to come out there pretty much, well, let's say 99.99999%, that's going to tell you that Daniel failed the test or passed it. The police won't do it. The family members won't do it. The only person that might tell you is Daniel himself. And even then, no one's going to believe him without receipts. So bottom line is, when it comes to the information, I hate to preach it, guys, but you guys know how important it is. And I always think of this, and I hope you guys do too. I always put myself in the shoes of the case, as shoes of the family members, and ask, what would I want done for me? How would I feel? And stuff like that. And all I would want, if this was my child, my children, that the details and the truth get put out there. But I just don't like things getting twisted and people just fabricating. Because honestly, you guys, I would say 3/4 of the channels do it for their pocketbook. Okay? 3/4 do it literally for their pocketbook. They're not doing it for the cases. Oh, they might act like they do. Trust me. I know slime when I see slime. But I would say 3/4 are there to build their channel and get YouTube money. Well, fine. You know what? Get YouTube money. But they'll write about donations and stuff like that. And you can see which ones do it for the money. And it's okay if they want to play those games and do it that way. It's their choice. It's their whatever. But you know what? As long as you try to stick to the facts of the case, and if you want to support channels and stuff like that do that, absolutely, go right ahead. But always just know, right? Just try to always look for the truth and not a bunch of rumors and stuff, because it really does hurt a case on there. So, but I enjoy the speculation part, because cases like this or Sebastian's, of course we're going to speculate. Who's not going to speculate? Who's not going to think? Has anybody been charged? Anybody been found guilty? No. Doesn't mean we can't, allegedly, or in my opinion, or whatever, talk about it. If something looks sus, it looks sus. Even if it's not, comes off looking sus. Same thing as your purple one, Charmaine. Purple. Postpartum depression and possibly living with a partner who is controlling. Daniel seems like he needs to be in control right from his first interviews. Being ahead of drones and police searchers. You know what? To be honest with you on that one, I could be wrong, but I don't see Daniel as a control freak. I don't see him as this controller at all, to be honest with you. I've watched his Pokemon on his channel, how he talks, listening to him in the interviews. He's the one that's out there searching. The comment that Belinda had said about the postpartum, and that basically it's like after having Meadow, that it's almost like Jack and Lily became non-existent, and he feels like he's taking care of it. That's not the read I'm getting myself off of Daniel, to be honest with you. I truly want to believe Daniel, and I keep seeing the pictures with his ex where he has the kids in his arms, kids in his hands. I don't see this controlling personality in Daniel, to be honest with you. I might see that. I know that sometimes people bring out the worst in each other, and that's a two-way street. But I'm not really seeing. Well, let me ask you guys, how do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like Daniel's a controller? Sounds like four-wheeling trails along power lines. Want one, Ben? Sharon and I have a purple one. I don't see it. I'm not even sure what you guys are talking about. I always tell my granddaughters, God doesn't like ugly. He certainly don't. Certainly don't. It's like people, Might be beautiful on the outside and ugly on the inside. As well as Daniel stating he has to let law enforcement do what they need to do. He cannot keep running around. Yeah. And it's gated. Yeah. I'll tell I'm definitely going to take a look on, Google Maps there, right? Here, let me just bring that down. Image file. No, I don't want to. 1 second here. Zoom. Hold on, guys. I said I would desert you, but I haven't yet. Like my Rickroll. Come on, Shemaine, Rickroll me up. Somebody else Rickroll. We gotta get this moving here. I said it before and I'll say it again. You are one of the only channels I come for truth with no BS. Joby, I totally appreciate that. Thank you. I do. Those type of comments mean a lot for me. It makes me understand that people understand where somebody's heart is, and that they're not here to feed bullshit and not play games. That's one thing I'll never do. I don't play games with people. It's not my way. I don't ever do stuff like that. I'm just a straight up person. No hidden agenda. Most people, sometimes I've been told, like, guys would tell me, like, when I was dating, they'd say I was mysterious. And I'm like, mysterious? Freaking, I'll tell you everything about me if you ask, type of thing. And I'd be like, I don't know. I guess they found it mysterious. Sometimes they would say sexy, but I'm just saying. But anyways, no, I'm just a straight up shooter, and I have been since when I was 26, pretty much. I just got tired of the abuse of my first ex that I was with, and just was like, I was tired of people always using me all the time. And I was like, fuck it. Sick of this shit. Tired of somebody putting their hands on me. Tired of people asking me a question and then they don't like the answer and stuff like that. And it's like, well, if you don't like it, don't ask me the question. So I'm just a straight up shooter. Always have been. Well, since I was 20. No, I've always been a straight up shooter, but I just mean that's when I really kind of came into my own. I was just like, I'm done with this stuff with people. I let people, I'm the one that would obviously let people walk over me, but I just get tired of it. You give somebody an inch, you do stuff and they take a mile, right? They start, they ask once for money, then they ask twice and 3 times and 4 times, and I'm always just like, yes, yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. And then after a while, you just feel like you're being used, and so that's why my friends, they're few and far and in between. They're genuine, like Charmaine, right? Charmaine, I mean, she has been so generous and such a good friend. Same with Alexa, like in the sense of Charmaine, I remember like last year or something like that, right? I was struggling for a couple of years, about 1.5 years, I think, at least, maybe 2 years. Anyways, so I was working in optometry, and I ended up losing my job because of the COVID 2-year stint, because optical is usually every 2 years. So I ended up losing my job. I was feeling very depressed and frustrated because it seemed like not even a freaking, like freaking dollar store. Not that I applied at the dollar store this time. Okay, I didn't, but like not even the bread place across the road. What, a freaking 16-year-old's interviewing me, type of thing. And I'm just like, well, I love bread. Like, come on, give me a job. And I just felt like so lost. And then a place called me up. I got so much experience when it comes to customer service, hospitality, right? A ton of it. And you start feeling like a big ass loser. And you start getting depressed because, your husband is supporting you with the paychecks. I'm just getting some nominal YouTube money in, Charmaine and Alexa both, help me out a couple times, like here's $50 or whatever. Sometimes I, would pay them right back. I never asked people for stuff, but yet I sunk that low to myself because money was just very tight. It's very big cost of living. I felt like a loser is what I felt like. And I got a job in customer service, and I love it. This is exactly where I should always be, right? But Charmaine sent me like, I remember, was it my stomach from colitis? Charmaine sent me this heated pad, right? I'll send this heated pad. She just sends me. She's been a very good friend. And honestly, like I said, I don't abuse people's kindness. I appreciate it. And now that I'm able to, it's like, here's Charmaine, here's some back. She still has a way better paying job than I do, but I do love my job and I get good benefits from it. I got good medical and dental, and so all that stuff, really good people. But Alexa has helped me out too, and Melissa's a really good, genuine person and stuff like that. And so I just want to say, like, for me, I always appreciate, right, because I never like to ask anybody for anything. That's why I can't be that person that sits there and spouts off going, donate to me. Come on, hop on the money train. Hop on the train, Jack. I need 10 super chats today. If you don't give me 10 super chats, then I'm not going to do this live. I'm not going to do a bonus hour live at the end of it. I can't do that. It's not my way. I'd feel like wrong. It feels wrong. If people want to donate and do stuff for you, that's one thing. If they don't, it's okay. No one's forcing anybody to, but I just can't be that person. It has to be always about people before anything. Never about money first. My life has never been led like that, and I will never lead it like that. I don't care if I had 100 million subs. I'm a very grounded person. Oh my God, Charmaine, did your ego go up just by me saying all that stuff? I mean, that's right there telling you about stuff that I would normally not tell people anything. Because honestly, to the ego, to sit there and feel like a loser and say that, and stuff like that, or you ask somebody for a handout for a moment and stuff like that. Honestly, that's like, you want to talk about my ego being right at the freaking bottom of my shoe? That's pretty much how I felt, right? And it just is embarrassing and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, rode through it, got some really great friends. Miss Dog Lover, another one right there. Miss Dog Lover, just a very loyal, good friend of the channel as well. Sharon Parker, just is so dear. Just such a great person. Support with Steph. Oh, sorry, I'm giving shout outs now. Support with Steffa. Ben, you're just here for looks. Remember that, and remember that only. Oh, and for your mod. Ben never wanted ever a wrench. Yeah. But Ben was always finding links so fast for me. Here you go. So I forced Ben to keep that wrench. So that's kind of like a little tease. Plus, I consider him to be my about my 6th online husband, right, Ben? Just kidding, Ben. You know that you're 100th one I meant. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. Just giving some shout outs there because those are really good, dear people of the channel. And I appreciate them so much for their kindness, for their big hearts. That's why, again, Belinda saying to me that she felt like, I was the one to talk to in a sense because she felt the sincerity. And I just appreciate that. And I don't want to ever abuse anybody's kindness or use them, In fact, I would really like to do a tribute awareness one like Sebastian's on there for Lily and Jack. I can tell you have a good heart. Thanks, Mel. Kind, caring people, you don't need to tell them how kind and caring you are because they see it. They see the genuineness of it, and stuff like that. So I know that those are the people that you don't need to even say anything to because they already know. I know when I see genuineness, right? That's why I appreciate there's certain channels out there that I really do appreciate for just being authentic. 333 in chat. 323 Sherry by the time I got to this on there. Kind of just scrolling down here. So where it fills up their bottles. Yeah. After this, I gotta go get something to eat. Then I'm gonna go look at any emails. Okay, Valerie. And I know that Joe Hunter, a Chaos, she has sent this long thing. And I regret to say that I still haven't read it yet because I'm not gonna lie. Big long posts scare me to read because my attention span isn't overly great when it comes to certain things. And I know that when I keep scrolling, it's one thing when you look at it on a big computer. It's kind of like like a MSN message, right? Charmaine might someone. It looks like it's huge. The minute you open it up bigger, it's like not so bad. It looks like maybe 2 lines. But when I'm looking at it, even on my big computer, it's like a really long message. And I read about 2 paragraphs. And then I was like, okay, no, I'll come back to this later. So no offense there, Chaos. Love you. It's not that I'm not going to read it. I just sometimes. Hi, did you say you have ulcer colitis? Yes, Annette. Never had an issue till I was in my 40s with any sort of health at all. But now, life kind of sometimes throws you bullets. It's like you had a perfect thing. You didn't have no issues, no broken bones. You know what? Let me just throw some stones at you for a while there. You know, make sure you're in check with the world here. But yeah. And the thing was, can I tell you something personally on this one? So it's maybe too descriptive. Maybe I shouldn't. Fine, I will. Okay. So I basically went to the doctors because the doctor said I had hemorrhoids. Okay. I know it's lovely. Okay. Ben is our blot or bloot. Anyways, so go to the doctor, right? Sit in that freaking emergency room or waiting room for like 10 hours, right? So at about the 6th hour, 7th hour, all of a sudden, freaking this code blue goes off. And my doctor was just about to come, or the doctor from the emergency was just about to come see me until this freaking blue light goes off. 10 hours later, right? So after 10 hours, he comes in for all of 2 minutes, sticks his fingers up my butt and goes, definitely hemorrhoids, right? Type of thing. So inside, internal ones, right? So I'm like, for fuck's sakes, thank you for the 10-hour freaking for 2-minute thing. Anyway, so I go off and I see a specialist few months later, right? Specialist, okay? Sticks his fingers up the butt, goes, definitely hemorrhoids. Gonna have to send you to the surgeon. Go to the surgeon. A couple months later, sticks his finger up my butt, and he goes, you don't have hemorrhoids, but I am worried about the redness in your stomach. I'll check into that. No hemorrhoids. I had colitis. How does a doctor and then a specialist tell you have hemorrhoids? You literally go to the surgeon expecting some surgery. You don't got hemorrhoids, but your stomach is red inside, and I'm not sure why. And then I get told, like I said, I had colitis. Crazy. Call me crazy. Sorry if that was too TMI for anyone. Okay, I'm kind of a TMI type of person. Just will come out of my mouth during these end parts of the lives. Just saying. Okay, not embarrassed. It's life. Amy, but normally whenever I tell somebody that shit, absolutely not. Right. I got nothing to hide, whatever. People don't like the stories at the end sometimes. YOLO. She had a visit yesterday and made her cry. She had a visit. Oh, did she, Joe? On there? Yeah. Make sure you tell your wife if she's not in here. Give her hugs. Thanks, Mark. We are writing a book now. Oh, yeah, right. Charmaine's writing a book with her brother. My son had that. That's what he passed from. Oh, really? Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that, Annette. But I know now why you were answering. But plus for your son there. That's very sad. Your wife, Joe, do you mind sharing what the vision was? Joe's going to let it out somewhere. I can feel it. It was only about Jack. I'm not too far? No. Yes, quite a lot. Charmaine, Google Bloot, says naked. Well, we got the sloots and the bloots, eh, Charmaine? I love TMI. Mark, you think I didn't know that? Mark? Okay, I think that's it. Ben's a version of sloot because all the girls him. That's a good sentence, Charmaine, because all the girls him. The votes are 33 for Malaya. The votes, yes. And 83 Daniel on there. Yeah. Oh, I guess I probably could have said the rest of those right. 1% said the Woods are to blame. I mean, that was actually an option there, guys, by the way. Okay. 10:17. Yeah, what's tomorrow? Wednesday. Hump day. Tomorrow is hump day. Mark, I'm sure you like a good Wednesday. Get live today. Oh, I think she meant that. I know you meant good live today. Just reading between the lines, the little tea leaves on that one. Tatiana is big. Ooh. Root is tautology? I'm not even going to ask. Hey, Siri, what's tautology? Where are you? Where's my Siri?
It's 10:18 p.m.
I asked Siri that, and Siri said it's 10:15 or 10:18, I guess, p.m. Okay. If she saw an Island Towers wires, she could be talking about the old theme park right at the end of Daniel and Malehya's road coming out. It's got the sun of on the tower or the fence tower. Mm. You know what? Yeah. Anyways, okay. You guys have a blessed day. Again, if you come across this live, well, ignore the last maybe 15 minutes or so, but whatever. Okay. Thank you again to Charmaine, Pictou, and Charmaine again for those donations earlier. And let's see here. There's 6,324 views. There's 290 likes. Somebody hit a like just now. Thank you. Anyways, so we'll see if I do a live tomorrow. Again, it just depends how much time. If I think of stuff to ask Belinda, or Charmaine thinks of something, or Kent thinks of something, or Sharon thinks of something, just send me that message in Messenger. You guys email at crimingshame@gmail.com. But meaning, right? I just want to keep things real and try to get out the information that we can try to put out there to help us learn more about this case and to learn more about Malehya's relationship with Daniel and some answers for these children. Oh my God, I need to have these up. My bad on there. So good night. Bless everybody. And like I said, Valerie, I'll look at, I don't have my, see, that's the part that sucks, Valerie. I don't have my email on my iPad. So like, and as I'm at work, I really hardly look at my phone because I don't really use my phone. I sometimes do it, but because it's just in like an iPhone 8 and I don't have the need for something past that at this moment because I just don't really use my phone too much besides to talk to my husband. But sometimes when I'm at work, I'll look at it. But my iPad doesn't have an email, so that's why hence I can't really look at emails up until I get home because I'm not going to try to look at it on the phone trying to read emails. It's too hard on my eyes. But anyways, so I will look at that tonight, get off, and bless you guys. All right? Bless you guys. And anyone that wants to try to check out Donna Serafina's, things that she's kind of put out there, take a look around, see if anything's meshing up and stuff like that. Anyways, God bless you guys. Have a great night. Mwah, 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 mwah. Phew. Chef's kiss. Do, 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 do. Just got to find my outro. Don't mind me. It's down here somewhere. Found it. Take care, guys.